You don't want them to know. Boom. And we're live, Erik Griffin. So we were talking before this podcast how you mix it up with the Android watch, but the Apple phone. It's very curious.
Yeah, well, see, I used to be all Samsung. I loved the Android, and the watch is great. I love how it interacts. But then I get a girlfriend who has an iPhone.
Right.
And she's like, I want to FaceTime with you.
So why don't you tell her to get Skype?
Yeah.
Skype app.
You're married. You understand. Like, you can't. Anyway, I
set standards.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm not the standard guy.
Line is in the sand.
So then they have like they had this app on the Apple now called Gear, which lets you hook up your phone, but you can't really interact with it. You can't like talk or anything, but it's actually kind of nice. You just want to know stuff's going on.
It's probably, we were saying it's probably better that you can't interact with it. Because Jamie was telling me that you could do walkie-talkie with your iPhones now.
Yeah, that's still being announced right now, so I don't know all the details, but the Worldwide Developers Conference is going on, the WWDC, so they're announced the new operating system, the new Apple Watch, and the new automatic workout detection, walkie-talkie mode, and something else is going on.
There's just too much.
I have an Apple Watch, too. I love it. You can leave it at least sometimes I leave my phone. I don't even bring my phone with me.
Yeah?
Because you can...
Do you feel weird when you do that?
Yeah, because here's what's happening now, though. Like, if I have my watch, like, so when you look at your watch, what does that cue? It cues like you want to go, or you're missing out on something, or I don't have any. No, now when you do that, it's just because you're looking at a text message. So now it's just as rude as. Yeah. It just we're not. This isn't helping.
No,
it's not helping when I go. If I'm looking, we're talking, and I go like this. I look down, and you think, hey, you have to go someplace. Like,
yeah.
No, I just got a text.
It's too much, right?
Yeah, I just got a tweet. I got a retweet I'm looking at. That's
what it is.
What
are we doing?
I have no idea. And you know what's really weird about all this stuff, the phones and how we talk? Everybody wants to text. Like, you can't get people to call you.
Right.
You can't get people to now they're putting little emojis.
Right.
Right. And then from the emoji, now they're putting like GIFs of real people. So this is how I feel. So we're going in a circle because we want human interaction. We want connection. We want to see people. So now they're putting a celebrity up. Like, this is how I feel today. Why don't you put how you feel today?
Right. Not Chris Pratt.
Right.
Throwing a garbage can or something.
Yeah, this is my mood. So we're slowly getting back to where it's going to be. We're going to actually be talking to a real person.
You think so? It's going to come all the way around?
I think it's going to come all the way around.
What is this,
This
Jamie?
is the new thing they showed. It's you're making an emoji of yourself called Memoji.
They already did that with Samsung.
This is like it's working
They're ripping them off.
They're working together or something.
This is what I'm saying, though. We're searching. We're trying to find ways to be more ourselves. You don't need an emoji of yourself. Just be yourself.
Sorry, they're going against each other.
Takes on Samsung AR emoji. Yeah, they ripped off the idea. Cheap fucks.
Taken on.
Isn't that funny?
Apple's
ripping people off. No, they were first with the iPhone. The iPhone was the first of these kind of things. The first iPhone. But Androids are real close now. They're real close. I mean, it's very debatable.
But everything after that, they were late. Like
really?
Like on an Android, you could copy and paste on an Android.
Oh, you could do that?
2-3 years before, you could do it.
Oh, really?
On an Apple.
So you've always been an Android guy?
Yeah, I've always been an Android guy.
Just get another Android.
I know.
Tell your girlfriend.
I know.
I'm the man. You get an Android.
You get it. Yeah.
You get an Android, and we'll Skype it.
It'll be me buying her an Android.
Is there anything native to Android like the FaceTime thing? Is there something that's on the
No, they do. They had their own
version of that.
They have their own version of that, but I don't think people really use it. They have their own like Samsung Video.
Oh, but Samsung has one. But what if you have say like a Google Pixel phone?
Yeah, they might have, but I don't think enough people have a Google Pixel phone to make that even a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought those were really popular.
Are they? Who do you know? Name me one person you know that has a Google Pixel.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Me. I have one.
You do not have a Google Pixel.
I do have one.
But
I don't use it.
Yeah. Okay, so you were given a Google Pixel.
No, I bought one.
Why?
Because I wanted to try it out. But here's what happened. I couldn't get text messages to work. This is the scam. Because you are hooked up to this. What are you showing me, Jamie?
So they do have it. It's with the Pixel 2 or something.
Maybe it's Android video calling.
Yeah.
Google simplifies Android video calling. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. So does that only work with Android? Android to Android? Is that the idea?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know why they don't just work together. Why doesn't Apple and Google just work together?
Well, they don't work together with text messages either. That's my point. Is like
really annoying.
The iMessage thing is what fucked me because everybody knew that I had an iPhone, so they would send me, because they have an iPhone, they would send me an iMessage. And so I was sending people text messages. They're like, I'm not getting it. I'm like, send me one. And they would send me one, and I wouldn't get it. And so then I went online and looked it up, and it said, you have to disable iMessage. Okay, so I disable iMessage. Then you have to call up. You have to actually call up someone.
I'm done at that point.
Yeah, at that point. Yeah. You have to call up someone and tell them to take your email address off of the iMessage database. Okay, so I do that. And I say, take this email address. Well, why are you doing that, sir? Because I switched over to an Android phone that's like, pause. Like, I just fucking killed the queen. Like, this, like, come on. Like,
you heard an alarm go off?
I'm one of millions of fucking people out there. You don't know anything about me. Why do you care? Why would you give a fuck if I... But they literally, the guy on the phone felt bad that I was switching over. So then it still wouldn't work. I mean, it didn't work for... I'll get like 1 out of 3 text messages. And it all happened while I was on vacation. I just figured I'm going to try this phone while I'm on vacation, fuck around, but you can't. They got you roped in with that goddamn, that iMessage shit.
No, yeah, that's their Apple's thing.
Yeah, because
then they make it free no matter where you are in the world and all that. I mean, a lot of people have Apple. I think Samsung is taking over in terms of like for Android. You know,
yeah,
I love the Samsung phones.
They make good phones.
They make great phones.
The difference between the Androids though is that Samsung does not update their software very often. They update security patches
because they don't need to.
But Google Pixel phones get the latest software right when it gets released, and so like when Oreo comes out and 8.1, all these different operating systems come out, they're better, supposedly.
Yeah, for how long? A week?
I mean, no, it takes a long time before they come out on Samsung phones. Long time. Like 6 months sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Well, there you go. You heard the breaking news right here.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe that's what the problem was.
Yeah, but it also, Samsung puts their own shit over Android. And the real Android dorks want pure Android. And pure Android you really only get with the Pixel. Unless you can, do you know about... How do you do? Like, can you hack them? You can hack them, right? Where you can
like how you use, what do they call it? Like you jailbreak your iPhone and all that kind of stuff. They've made that just common now.
Yeah,
because it used to be like they would lock it down where, like, let's say you had Verizon, so you could only use this phone on Verizon with Verizon stuff, and then you would jailbreak it, then you could like open it up to like all these other types of apps. It's just, if they would stop being greedy fucks. Just stop being so greedy. Let me use my phone however I want. I'm still going to be on your system. I'm still paying your, $200 a month for your stupid phone service. But I can't do a little extra.
Little extra.
Just a little extra.
Just a little extra.
Don't get me started on this.
I'm getting you started.
I know.
These motherfuckers. Now I can't believe the shit we have to deal with, Erik Griffin. God damn it. It is weird though, man. It's weird there's only 2. That's also weird. There's only like 2 operating systems, and they're competing side to side.
But that's how we are in our country. We can only Republican or Democrat, Apple or Android.
Do you remember Windows Phone? Windows Phone wasn't bad.
Yep. Was it?
It wasn't that bad. I had a friend who had a Windows Phone. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It had tiles. It was like Windows 10. You know how Windows 10 looks with tiles?
That's like a came and went. Nobody cares about that.
Came and went. Look at you.
Yeah, it's just I can't deal with. I don't want to hear about you. Everybody's trying to get into the phone game.
Right.
It's like,
but what's crazy is how many people have Windows computers. It's amazing that Windows had a phone and people are like, nah.
Yeah, well, because they know all the problems they had with their computer.
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped. I can't even remember the last time I had a Windows computer. I strictly went Apple because it's just so easy to use.
Right.
And it's still not easy to use.
You know what's not easy, though? Apple does not have good keyboards. Like, if you have a desktop keyboard at home and you can add a second keyboard, like buy a mechanical keyboard.
Oh, right,
But if you're a writer, if you like to write, the problem with Apple keyboards is there's no key travel. It's very, very shallow. So it's like just a tiny movement. Click, 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 click. What I use is a ThinkPad. And then one of the reasons why I use a ThinkPad is there's like travel to these keys.
Oh.
Like these keys have motion to them.
Okay.
Like if you're
old school.
Yeah, well, the thing is you feel where the keys are. You feel like, so as you're typing, I can just look at the screen and I don't have to look down at the keyboard, and they depress with your fingers like there's motion to it, so there's no accidental pressing of the keys.
Did you take typing in high school?
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't remember any of it though.
Yeah, me too. My high school year was the last year that they had typing at my school.
Really?
Yeah, I remember.
The last year?
They were saying like this is no longer, because they had a computer class that they were starting. I just thought, damn, like I look back on these things and I just go, wow, the how times have changed. Our generation is this like generation that is like, we went through the first of all of these things. I had a Commodore 64.
Did you?
Yes. I remember the first Apple laptop. I remember like when game systems changed and color TV and call waiting and like all the things that we were,
Answering machines.
And then no more answering machines. And
Yeah, can you even buy an answering machine today?
976 numbers and like all of that stuff was like
There's sex lines?
yeah.
Yeah.
You could call like, oh God, I got in trouble one time. Like, thank God I was calling a Christmas. I was going to call a Christmas one first, and then I was going to call a sex one. And then I called the Christmas one first, and then my mom picks up the other line. And I hang up, and then my mom's like, Eric, are you talking to Santa Claus?
Oh, shit. How old were you at the time?
I was like, I don't know, 13 or something like that, like just getting into your, So like even how we find porn is different now. Like so like when I'm thinking about you talking about this keyboard, it still has a little bit of old school to it. It has an old school feel to what you're saying. You still have anytime somebody's using Windows, I know it's like, oh, they're connected to the past still.
Well, I just switched over to it recently when I fucked around with a ThinkPad one day, and I was like, wow, this keyboard is so much better. Because I have a MacBook, too, one of them new MacBook Pros.
Oh, you just can't handle it.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
It's just not a good keyboard. It's shit. It's not just bad. It's shit. It's shit. And there's no options. Like, if you want a laptop, they don't give you options for keyboards.
Yeah, you can't customize the... Yeah,
no, and you can't get a different one. Like, if you want Windows, you can get an Asus, you can get a Lenovo, you can get... there's a shit ton. You can get a Dell.
With your desktop, though, I have an iMac.
Yes,
you can hook up...
Sure, with a desktop. But the problem is, most of my shit, I go on the, third class action lawsuit over MacBook Pro keyboard alleges fraudulent concealment.
This guy's a research king right here.
Yeah, but look at that keyboard. Look how fucking shallow those keys are. That's bullshit.
Well, it's to keep it thin, man.
But it doesn't matter. That's bad for a writer. If you're a writer, that's a shitty design.
Remember how thick they...
Yeah, but make it a little thicker. Jesus Christ, who gives a fuck if it's a extra 0.5 millimeter if you have good keyboard feel? I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're the type of person who just writes an email every now and then, but I fucking write. I need a keyboard.
I feel you, man.
I need it, so I switched.
Something that could take a beating too.
Yeah, I still fuck around with that when I still have it. So I fuck around with that if I travel, if I go online, if I'm just web surfing, it's fine for that. Mm-hmm. But it sucks a fat one when it deals with. Did you get a text message?
Yeah, I'm already getting messages about this. It's just coming to the phone. My phone's gonna the only time my phone is blown up like this before is when Justin Bieber posted a picture with him.
And you?
Yeah, on his Instagram, and then my phone was shaking for a month straight.
Just from the notifications?
I turn on the notification, I say, you guys, nobody believe me. Let me turn on the notifications. And I put it down like this, and it's just, like I'm talking about that.
Thousands of notifications.
That guy could topple a government if he really wanted to, if he got political.
Right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're dealing with Trump, a famous person who becomes the president. I mean, this little kid is only 24, right? What the fuck is he even 24?
Yeah, he just turned 24, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jamie's hating. No, he's not.
He's actually a good kid. He really is. But if I gave you $100 million and no parental supervision, you'd do some dumb shit too.
You'd do way worse.
Yeah, I listen. Right now, I would do a lot of dumb shit if you gave me $100 million, just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah, he's done well for what he is. The kind of fame that guy possesses. He's off the charts famous.
Yeah. But then so was Trump. Trump was super famous.
Super famous.
Yeah. This is why we can't get rid of the Electoral College, though, by the way, not to get political, but...
It does help, but, did he rig that?
But you can't
rig it, but played the game well,
But you can't have a popularity contest.
But it is a popularity contest, no matter what, even with the Electoral College. You just have to be popular in Iowa, popular in Ohio, know how to do that. Just go over there and talk about Muslims. Shake your fist.
Why don't we... I still don't understand why we don't just have... online voting.
Absolutely.
Or with their phone. Like you have to have a phone
Preach.
and then you register your phone so that IMEI number that your phone has is strictly for you.
Yeah.
They already have what do you call it, like facial recognition software. The phones have fingerprint.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 different ways to like register and then you'll get everyone's vote. I always say vote should be like the Columbia DVD house. Remember Columbia DVDs?
Oh, they would just
send them,
just giving it to you for free.
So so if you're a Republican, right?
Yeah.
Then your vote goes to the Republican until you go, I don't want this Republican.
I wonder what the numbers of people if people don't know what we're talking about with Columbia DVD because we're old, but back in the day, you would sign up for like cassette tapes.
Yes.
And they would send you a bunch of cassettes, like you'd pick.
It was like a book
what do you
club
like?
too. Book club.
Yeah, that too. But they would send them to you, but it was only like $1, and you would get like 15 cassettes. You know, you get like Aerosmith and. Is it still around?
They still got it.
Yeah, it's still on.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, but check it out. They finally made it so they don't just send it automatically because people were quitting the service.
Yeah.
But they would just send you, so you would pay, and you had like say 3 days, and if you didn't send it back, they would charge you the $9.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying about voting. This is how we should vote.
$35.
Like that
Dude,
page
that's
right there he's
ridiculous.
showing us should be like all your candidates for Democrat. And if you don't,
Wait a minute.
you have 3 days to pick. And if you don't pick, your vote goes to them. That's how they should do it.
Show me what you just showed me. What are you doing? What'd you show me?
Clicked on the details.
What does it say?
It says it's $35 for like 2 or something like that.
Okay, free shipping is only eligible for orders of 2 or more DVDs with a subtotal of $35.
Oh, okay.
See?
Pre-orders are not eligible for free shipping.
I don't know. It's just-
Okay, so they say it's free shipping, but it's not free shipping. Is that what they're doing?
And they say it's
Oh, yeah,
$9.95
look,
each, but
free shipping on
that's more than
2 plus-
$35.
Yeah.
Look at that. Free shipping on 2 plus DVDs, but the DVDs are $9.95. So
Yeah.
2 plus is what? 4 because it has to be more than $35. You fucking crooks. They're all crooks. The record companies are so gross. Dude, I've been talking to people. I had Steven Tyler in here was explaining what happens now with streaming services.
by the way.
Oh, thank you. He's great, right?
Yes.
He's a trip.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. I mean, you want to talk
Yes.
about a guy who's seen it all.
I'm never surprised when someone like that, with that type of personality, I'm not surprised that you see the kind of life and career he's had.
Yeah.
Those people they're a notch above the norm.
Yeah, he's definitely a notch above the norm. He's a super sweet guy, too.
Yeah.
Nice to everybody. Just hugging everybody and real
He's already
friendly.
had his time of being like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a time in his
When he's
life
a
where he was
dick.
a super dick.
You think so?
Come on, dude.
Some guys
you don't
hang
get
on to
that,
that.
famous. You don't get that famous at the time when people are treating you like just a god, you know, everywhere he went. I mean, the rock star.
I bet there's
that was
some
the
people-
pinnacle. Rock star,
Right.
A-list actor, professional athlete. That's the order.
But do you think they have to be dicks?
No.
Or do you think they become dicks just because? Here's my theory about that: is that the fame, that level of fame, is overwhelming.
Yes.
People grabbing at you all the time, so you just develop this dicky thing just to keep people the fuck away from you.
Yes.
Like if you get to that, I would imagine like that Michael Jordan or even Bieber. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a level where you can't go anywhere.
Listen, I've been around Bieber.
Yeah, what's it like?
He's not he's never alone. He's
Ever.
always got somebody there. I
Right.
don't think he trusts anyone. And that level of fame where you're just also used to, you know, hey, get me a water, get the car.
Right.
I want to go here. When you get used to that, becomes normal.
Just telling people.
Just telling people what to do becomes normal. Listen, dude, I was at a party and he was there and he's like playing his music for his new album, and he just looks at me and he says, "Hey, can you give me a vodka?" He says, "Give me a vodka thing," and then I was like, "Oh, okay," you know. I was so mad at myself because I'm over here like, I gotta get vodka.
Yeah. Excuse me,
Justin
gotta
needs
go.
a vodka. Just get everybody get out the way. I gotta get
gotta
this
do this
vodka for
real
Justin.
time.
Yeah, and then when I gave it to him, I thought I should have said no. I
should've
just
said,
thought,
"Bitch, get your own
Get
vodka."
your own fucking vodka. I'm 40-some years old.
Yeah, what the fuck
think
are you doing? Playing piano?
You know,
Fuck outta here.
Dude, same thing. I was at the Laugh Factory, and he was there. He was watching, and then Scooter, who's a buddy of mine, Scooter Braun, you know, Scooter comes down, you know, and he says, "Hey, yeah, Eric, Justin would like to see you." And I at first I was like,
Well,
you don't
he knows
summon
how to walk?
Wait, you don't summon me. But of course I was like, all right, let's go. You know, I went and then and then I saw him too, and I was like, I realized because I'm a nerd this way. I mean, I'm a fan of all types of music, so I think the kid's dynamic. I think
he's very talented.
I don't think it's a surprise that he's this famous.
Right.
You know what I mean? People get on him. Just by the way, in defense of Bieber, real fast, you can't tell somebody they're great since they're 8 years old.
Right.
You can't. 8 years old, you're great. You're great. And when he's 9, you're great. When he's 10, you're great. When he's 11, you're great. Think about that. Then at 13 is probably when he first went, well, am I? Yeah. But, and then 15, he was like, I'm not great. I am great. At 18, I'm fucking great. Now, and then when he finally says it, then that's when everybody goes, whoa, bro. Tone it down. It's too late. The monster's already been let loose.
Well, he's already mature, right? He's already become an actual adult. And he probably has no cum left in his body at any given time. He's shooting loads all day long. It's just recovery time for him.
If he tweeted, I need some pussy tonight.
Oh, out of control.
It would be like American Idol auditions.
It would be crazier than that. Have you seen that Guatemalan volcano eruption? Have you seen that? Where people are running from the smog. It's fucking crazy.
It would be girls, guys.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even just be,
like that much pussy coming down the mountain headed towards you. It's that Guatemala eruption is fucking scary, man.
There's nothing like that in comedy other than Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. But even that, look at this, Guatemala, most violent eruption in more than 100 years. 25 people already dead. I think it just happened yesterday. It's fucking crazy, man. Dozens of people have died after erupted. Yeah, Sunday.
The Earth is getting back at us.
Dude, that's 2, right? Hawaii and this one. I mean, we got to be real fucking careful.
I'm surprised New Zealand hasn't had a couple of eruptions.
Oh, do they have like a live volcano in New Zealand?
I just know I think, can you fact check this, but I think New Zealand has the most volcanoes in the world.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I was just there.
God,
and, you go on one of those tours and they're like,
What'd you do over there?
Well, I went to the Cook Islands.
Ooh, Captain Cook Islands?
Yeah, the Cook Islands, man.
Where the pirates showed up?
Yeah, beautiful vacation. And there's no Americans, which is what I love. I can't stand going someplace and it's just all American. Like I don't go to Ensenada and you might as well go to Venice Beach,
Right.
I don't want to be around like the same
That's
time.
how Maui is.
Yeah. I don't like going to Hawaii
Maui is
either.
basically Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills got
with
in a
water.
jet.
Yeah.
Volcano map of New Zealand. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, see?
Oh, these fucking volcanoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 volcanoes. Is that right?
Yeah, look, you can't lie on this show because this guy's going to fact check you right away.
13. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
God, that is insane.
But I'm telling you right now, beautiful vacation.
Oh, I bet.
I didn't actually like New Zealand like I went to Auckland. I thought I'm driving around downtown LA.
Oh,
or like Seattle
like
or something. I didn't like the city. I'm not a city guy. I like this kind of shit. I like some outdoors, nature, beaches.
Yeah, well, the nature there is stunning.
I want to look out the hotel window and the sliding door, and like there's sand, and then like the water's like right there.
Or mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Rainforest.
Yeah,
something that's different from this urban jungle that we live in all the time.
You ever been to Costa Rica?
I have been to. Oh God, went to Costa Rica with my girlfriend. We just started to get together, and it was good and bad.
Just started to get together. You took
we
her
were
to Costa Rica.
Yeah,
That's
well, I mean, we were. I mean, it was too soon.
Bold move, sir. How long were you guys dating?
It was too soon. I thought maybe we like 4 or 5 months, But it was like Christmas time, and I'm with her. I'm like, let me make this special. So we go to Costa Rica. I do it up.
And she went Christmas with you, not the family.
Yeah, well, she's Jewish, so.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
so
you go.
they're all monsters.
How dare you? You got to be careful
kidding.
with that kind of talk in this day and age. People are
there it is. That's
people
it.
Are getting after people.
Career's over. No, I'm just teasing. My girlfriend's Jewish. She has a beautiful family. So she was like, well, I don't care about Christmas anyway, so let's go.
Bam.
But I don't go see my mom, who moved to. My parents just moved to Malaga.
Where's that?
In Spain.
Oh,
they moved to like the southern tip of Spain. They went on a cruise one day, stopped in Malaga, and then my mom's like, we got to come back here. Cost of living is so low. Like they're living like kings over there. Like a great 2-bedroom condo with like a Malibu type view, €600 a month.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's I'm telling you right
That's
now,
crazy.
you got to look up the cost of living in Spain. It's crazy. A lot of people from Britain, they retire in Spain because their money goes a lot further.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that people go there to avoid taxes from France.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So we go to Costa Rica, and it was fine. It was great. It was one of these resorts where like you could get room service 24 hours,
Right.
order what you want. It's all covered in the thing. But I got sick, Joe.
Oh, no.
I knew it was
Diarrhea sick or what kind of sick?
It was every hole in my body. Something was coming out of it. Okay, and then I was
Tropical.
I was in bed. I was telling her, I said, I don't feel good, and then as a comic, I made a joke at her that she didn't appreciate. She was mad at me about this joke. So and I'm also telling her like, look, I'm feeling well, and then it happened. I get up and I had to vomit, and then there was nothing. I vomit in my hands. I run to the bathroom, and then it's just like it's coming out of both holes, like just and this is going on for all night. I'm dead. And the way she was acting, oh my God.
How was she acting?
She was like, "You're ruining the trip."
Whoa.
So at the time, I was like, "Ooh," but we weren't as close as we are now. We've since resolved the issue, but at the time, I was like, "I can't be with somebody that's not gonna live."
Right?
She ordered room service while I was sick,
while you
bro.
were sick. Wow. She was already writing it off.
Yeah. She's like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get."
I'm gonna have a fucking cheeseburger.
And then that was making me more sick. The food smell. So I'm outside. But then she was like, "I was mad at you for your jokes," and like and I always tell her. She said to me one day, my brothers, they used to tease me all the time when I was growing up. Then I said, "Then why'd you get with a comic?"
Yeah.
Something's going on. You know how we say we get with our mother, whatever the qualities are. So I think whatever you're close to in your life.
So she's accustomed to people giving her a hard time.
Even
though she didn't like it, she went with you.
So we're trying to balance it out. There's got to be compromised. You got to meet. You know what I mean? If she's here and you're here, you got to go like this.
The worst thing ever is when you just start dating someone and you go on a vacation with them and it goes sour, and you're stuck with them for like 5 days in some spot.
And it usually happens, by the way, on the plane ride over. There's something that happens on the plane where you're like, "Oh, I don't like you, and we're going to be on this plane for 6 more hours." And then you're going to get to this hotel. I mean, that's why you have to be compatible with somebody before you travel. Make sure.
Way compatible.
Oh yeah, you have to make sure. Things like I want to go out and do things. Maybe if you're an outdoorsy person and you want to leave the hotel, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're a person that wants to take advantage of everything in the hotel, or you're on vacation and you want to chill. That has to be established, or you're going to be in a situation where you're like, "What are we still doing in the hotel?"
Right.
Or the other person's like, "I don't want to go. Why are we going out?"
I like margaritas on the beach.
Right.
I just want to drink margaritas and then fall asleep and hear the waves.
We survived though. We survived it.
She made you change your phone though. It's kind of fucked up.
I know, that was the compromise.
Soon as it's over, bro. Soon as it's
back
over,
to
you're
Samsung.
going right back to Samsung, aren't you?
I'm gonna be the Android. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be over. We're coming up on a year.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year.
Damn.
But I hear people.
Serious.
You know what it is? It's people like you. It's your fucking fault.
It can work.
You're on stage talking about your great family and just
So
how
you want a family
and how you deal with it. Yeah, you think about these things, man.
How old are you now?
I'm 46.
So you're thinking about shooting live ones in there,
I'm thinking about maybe it's time. You know what it is? It's once I'm not super successful, but I've enjoyed my career, and now I'm like, oh, I enjoy this. I want to share this with someone that really cares about me. And one thing I'll say for her, I feel the love.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really do feel the love. She's a very loving woman, very beautiful.
And so she got used to you after a while and understands your jokiness and appreciates you, knows you're a good guy.
I'll tell you something that she did. This is why I'm even talking about her right now. Something that she moved me, Joe.
Oh.
The other day, we were having a little fight. A little fight.
Right.
And then it was obviously, I was like, we're not communicating, I told her. You know what she did? She downloaded Communicating with Your Man audiobook. And we sat and listened to it together.
Ooh.
And it was like,
that's where I quit. I'm out.
But check this. No, but check this.
I changed my phone number and threw my phone in the ocean.
It was like the guy that wrote the book was talking about her.
Really?
That was the best part about it. He was like, it would be like something like, you know what you shouldn't do with your man is don't have a look on your face of disgust when you're mad. It was like all these things. And then there was one moment where I'm going like this. I had my hands in the air, and it was like, if your man's body language, if he has his hands in the air, that's your time to back off. And I was like, did you date this guy? Because he's talking about you right now. You know what I mean? But I thought that the gesture of being like, hey, I need to improve. I need to like change how I feel, or like, you know, maybe look at self-reflect. That act of that self-reflection with her, that speak volumes for her and her character. And it really made me go, okay, you really want to make this work. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I want to make it work too.
How old is she?
29.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's at that age.
I should not have said that.
No, it's a good age.
I'm in so much trouble.
Why? You're not supposed to tell
I'm not
ages?
supposed to tell her. Like she want. Oh God. Well, the cat's out the bag now, so fuck it, right?
You didn't say her name.
You can just go to my Instagram. You're gonna see.
Shit.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Oh, God,
That's
I'm
a
in
good
trouble.
age.
That's
She's
what
a
I
young
said.
lady. What's the problem?
I know, but
Shouldn't
that's part
like
of the
it?
problem. You know what I mean? But no, but she because she doesn't want people to know.
Right.
So she wants people to know. She thinks she's 23. So I said, hey. That makes me look like
a creeper.
A creeper.
Yeah.
Even this age difference is a little iffy, right?
That's so like it's weird how we just make rules as to how old someone can be to be with someone else, but it changes after a while, right? Like once you get like if the dude is like 90 and the woman's 50, we don't give a fuck.
We don't give a fuck.
Whatever.
No. What I always say, to me, it's like it's got to be 30. Like, you know, like she's at the cusp of it. I think I think once a woman gets to like 28, 29, 30 in that age range, then the other part, it doesn't matter. It's depending on what they got going on in their life. But age, it's not about the age. It's about experience level. It's about where are you in your life. So one thing I struggle with is that, like, look, I'm knee deep in my career. But I remember when I was 30, I wasn't doing this. I just started.
You were hustling.
I was hustling so I had to remember that this is her hustle years.
So you started doing stand-up at 30?
Yeah.
That's a late start, right?
I went to a comedy class when I was in my early 20s because my mom's one of these supportive women. I said, hey, Mom, I think I want to be a comedian. Next day, I'm signed up at UCLA Extension, you know, and I with a notebook, and like she's like, here's a notebook. Yeah, that's all my mom. If I said I want to be a rock,
amazing.
If I said I want to be a rock climber, my mom was like, okay, she would have bought ropes and like hooked me up with because she wanted me out of the fucking house. You know, what I mean? She wanted me like when I was young. You know, so I went to the class taught by Sandy Shore.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it was. I thought this is gonna be it. Her
Mitzi
mom,
Shore's daughter.
Her mom owns the Comedy Store. I'm gonna make it.
How bad was the advice?
Look at you! Wow, this motherfucker right here, boy. Woo! Joe Rogan tried to start shit.
Excuse me. How good was the advice?
It wasn't good. Come on.
I misspoke.
Can I tell you this? This is I suggest to anyone, if you want to be a comic, go to one comedy class just for the comfort of the environment and the support.
Right.
Go to one comedy class, but after that, you got to get out there to the open mics and you got to do it on your own. But I suggest one comedy class.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
the
nothing wrong
comedy
with
class.
it. So I went and I loved that. And then by the way, the showcase for the graduation was at the Comedy Store in the OR.
Ooh.
So the first time I ever did stand-up comedy was in the OR at the Comedy Store.
Damn.
You know,
what year was this?
It was like 90 something, man. It was like 92, 93. And you know what I remember specifically? It was like after our show, they just rolled into the OR show. First guy on stage, Carlos Mencia.
Wow.
And he goes on, and at the time he was like, you know, Taco Bell, and you know, just at that time he was like,
just that phrase. At the time he was like Taco Bell.
You know,
that is fucking hilarious.
And I remember watching him, and at the time I remember watching him thinking, I think I can do this, you know, because I had a great set. I had a great first set, you know how that goes. It's supportive people in the crowd, and I have my funny hacky jokes that I was doing at the time, just what I thought was new. I even remember one of my jokes was like, I was like, how come you can't recognize Superman? And then I would take my glasses off, you know, like I'd be like, look, I'm Clark Kent, take them off. Superman, you know, that was like, I thought that was hilarious at the time. No black people on Jeopardy. That was another one of my jokes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I had I had black categories on Jeopardy already. You know, blind singers, barbecue holidays. You know, I had I was killing back then with that shit, man. So
Isn't it brutal though when you go to a real show
Yeah.
with that shit and you just it's crickets, but you're like, but on open mic night, it's weird, right? Like there's open mic night material where it does okay on open mic nights, and you're like, this is some good material. I just got to develop it.
I don't even think it's even open mic. I think even worse is doing it in front of a crowd. You know, this is what happens we're getting sidetracked, but I love it. You know, when you go into Middle America, when you first were coming up and you were still a major headliner, and then like the local guy will be there.
Right.
That local guy is now going to be on Joe Rogan's show in Iowa, and he's going to be performing in front of 200 or 300 people.
Right.
That type of hacky material is going to kill with those people. Then that person now thinks that this is how you do it, and they bring that to LA and New York. And then they're like, how come this isn't working? And then they're seeing like 1,000 other comics doing, talking about the same subjects, and then they don't realize how they have to find some originality in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. There's not a lot of subjects to talk about. You know, you're not the first comic to get married and have daughters.
Right.
But this experience that you had is personal to you, and conveying that is the hard part.
Right.
You know, and so people kind of go just surface with their material. It's hard to delve deeper. You know,
Right. It's hard to have the confidence to drag a subject out too. Like when you first start out, like your premises are so short, and then you go from one short premise to another short premise, and
then it becomes a bit, and the bit becomes a set. And then now you're talking about. I often tell comics like that it's like music. You know, if you heard like a Neptune's beat, you could hear it from a mile away. You can know when you hear it. You go, oh, I bet you the Neptunes produced that track, or Premier. You know, the DJ Premier.
Right.
He would produce a beat, and you'd be like, oh, that's a Premier beat. Your comedy is the same way. When you're working on things, you work on it in your way that if you looked at all your material, you might now see the common thread, and that's how you put together an act.
right.
30 minutes, 40 minutes. That's how you're able to talk about a subject for so long, because we've now woven together these thoughts that we don't think are connected, but when we look at them, we go, oh, this subject actually flows into this, and it connects very nicely. So that's what was going on. So I'm watching Mencia at the time. I'm just a young kid. I don't know what to do next. I just had a great set, I thought. And now I'm looking at these professionals, and I saw Mencia. And at that particular time, I was like, I saw him, and when he talked about Taco Bell and stuff, I thought, I think I could do this, And then he brought up Chris Tucker. And Chris Tucker went on stage, and I thought to myself, I don't think I could do this. Just the way he was so like, with his voice, man, just a
Chris Tucker was on fire back then.
Yeah, just his whole persona. And I thought, I didn't know what to do. So I floundered around. I did open mics.
So you got nervous when you saw Chris Tucker?
Yes, I did.
Because he was so powerful.
It was something special about what he was doing. And I just thought, I didn't have it at that time, man. I was so just nervous and scared and arrogant too, because I was a funny guy. So then I would go to open mics, and then the same people doing the same shit over and over and over again. Then I wouldn't go to another open mic for another 4 weeks. And then I see the same people, and I thought, well, how do you get from here? How do you get on the, this? No, I didn't know. There was no mentors.
Right.
There was no people going like, let me help you with this. You couldn't even talk to someone like of your stature at all. Like, at the time, you couldn't just be some open micer. And by the way, they shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you went to the Comedy Store and some dude comes up to you. You're just kind of like, what do you want to talk to me about right now, dude? Like, you just started.
I always approach, I think, especially when they work there as door guys, I feel like everybody's just a comic.
That's different. But like, there is a sort of, but even still, like, it's like, I don't know if it's so appropriate for a door guy to come up to you and be like, yo, can I open for you at Irvine?
Dude, some guy just did that the other day.
Bitch, I don't know you.
I don't know you at all. I have friends.
But by the way, I used to do that. I used to do that. I remember Johnny Sanchez.
Sure.
First was coming up. I went to Johnny. I was like, Johnny, let me open for you. I'm a juggernaut.
Is that what you said?
I told him I was a juggernaut. I said, I'm trying to bury these headliners, man. That's what I was trying to. That's
what you told him?
Yeah, that's what you thought you're supposed to do. I was
Did
like,
he check his watch? Oh, look at the time.
yeah. So he's teased me ever since. This is 15 years later. He's still teasing me about it. But so I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't know how to. What are you supposed to do, man?
Well, there's no clear path. It's not like being a doctor.
There's no right or wrong way either.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's true too.
Especially, I grew up in L.A. I was born and raised in L.A. So I'm in L.A. trying to get on a stage where I go to the Laugh. Like I was telling you earlier, I saw you at the Laugh Factory with hair, and just like, man, you were on stage. Like, I'm not like, you were just giving it. There's a certain energy you had about what you were talking about that I was like, damn, what happened to this guy? Like, I remember the first thought I was like, man, some woman hurt him.
That's hilarious. Or something
happened. And I thought, I don't know if I've tapped into that yet. I thought at the time, I don't know if I've tapped into that. So it took a long time for me to realize, oh no, this is what I want to do. And like,
right.
I was 30.
Well, everybody's different. Like some people go up there and they're excited and angry about shit. And some people go up there and they're mellow, and that's the funny part. They're chilled
I wish I knew
out,
what
slow.
There's no
slow punchlines,
But even if you
like Segura, perfect example.
Just could tell a story and have you captivated.
Yeah, there's no anger.
Yeah,
there's no like screaming emotions. Segura's just chilled out.
But don't you find yourself? Have you ever gone up and been because you have a way of performing like you have it's Joe mode. You're on there. It's going to be powerful, and you're like really. And then, have you ever just gone on and kind of like not done it that way? But then now you get laughs at a completely different point in your set
with new material for sure.
Yeah, because you're trying to find the.
You're trying to find the beats. I set material up to fail sometimes. Like I'll go into a bit slower and I'll go into a bit more casual and try to ramp it up rather than like try to make it. Like sometimes when you get a new bit, especially when you first start out, you're like, this bit is shaky. Let me just get it out of the gate with a lot of momentum so that I can kind of coast with it. But sometimes I'll say, all right, well, this bit might be all just bullshit. Or what Tom Segura calls them dance moves. Yeah, I used to call it English on the cue ball, because sometimes you're hamming it up. But
you're doing that. I know
exactly
what you're saying. You're doing that thing that you do that makes people laugh.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Jazzing it up.
It's really difficult for me because I'm just a funny looking guy. I mean, I accept it. Right. I'm not a looker. You know what I mean? I'm cute. You know what I'm saying?
You're a handsome fella. And I like
I'm a
your
handsome
mustache.
guy. Yeah,
the mustache works with you.
I know my qualities, right? But I know that like that I could do a thing that they're gonna. Are they laughing at what I'm talking about? Like, are they with me emotionally? Are they with me intellectually? Or are they just going like, this guy's funny?
Right.
And it's hard to recognize that.
Yeah. Right. Like, what do you want from them? Do you want to connect with them? Do you want them to laugh? Do you want both? Do you want them to appreciate you? You just want them to have a good time?
Or do you even want them to laugh at how you are connected to what you're talking about? Because that's different too.
Yeah.
Like if you're a political comic, people might laugh that like how passionate you are about being a libertarian or how passionate you are about, being an atheist.
Right.
Maybe they don't agree with you or maybe they do agree with you, but they're laughing at how you are connected to what you're saying. And I think that's another element. That's a whole other thing. I look at all my friends that, we have a lot of peers, our friends that we just go, they all have something different in that way.
Yep.
And it's an amazing thing to watch.
It's a crazy art form because nobody could tell you how to do it. It's not like any other art form.
Yeah, it really.
Like if you went into music or I went into music, like you could be in a rock band or you could be in a blues band or you could like country music, and everybody would be clearly defined.
Yeah.
But you just do stand up.
Yeah.
It's just stand up. I mean, there's no categories.
You know what's funny about that though is I know that there's no categories, but I do think that it is similar to music in that we're not going to change the rules of communication.
Right.
And I think that's where people get in the way. So like when you're on a piano, you're not going to make new chords. It's still going to be A, B, C, D, G. You know what I mean? And like the certain chords when they go together are not going to sound good. No matter what, you're not going to reinvent the wheel. So I think the baseline of comedy is like just being able to communicate your points. And I think when you're a person that can communicate your points and they're solid and clear, then the jokes on top of that is going to what the entertainment is going to be. But, you still got to when somebody says they're telling the story and nobody says anything and then they go, well, you had to be there. Right. Well, that's a horrible storyteller. That's what that is.
You'll never hear Joey Diaz say that.
Never. Right. You had to be there, cocksucker. Like, that would be like, well, I don't know if I want to be there, bro,
Yeah, you had to be there means you failed in communicating.
So I think that on that level, even though all comics are different and it's weird, but that level of like, so when you say setup, that is important. It's not gonna, it's universal to all of us. You have to set this up.
Yeah. But that's just the case with all songs and everything too, but there's styles. Like there's certain styles of comedy.
Yeah.
I guess there's styles of comedy, but they vary so much. There's no distinct style. Like if you heard put an example, Hank Williams Jr., like, well, that's clearly country. And you just hear it, right away. You hear,
there's something twangy about it.
It's like, that's country. Yeah.
There's something about the story. I love country with a good story, Driving down the highway, whatever.
Oh, yeah. All you have to do is hear like a couple of words.
Yeah.
You go, I know what the fuck this is.
Yeah, this guy's hurt.
It doesn't even have to have like music behind it.
You know what?
He's sad.
You were comedy at the time. It was the country music of comedy.
I think you're misrepresenting it. It was never...
It was a story. You felt the anguish.
I don't think that's what I was doing at the time.
Are you trying to look back and think?
Isn't it weird though?
Well, you had hair. It was a whole different guy.
Yeah.
You weren't this. You're a solid muscle now. Like, I don't know if you have. What's your body fat count right now?
I don't get it checked.
Oh, okay, that's probably better. It's probably better to think that it's better than it probably is. I think if you went, you might be disappointed.
The last time I checked, it was 10%.
Oh my God,
it's not very low.
I'm probably like 30%, 35% body fat. That's
really?
Crazy. Yeah, I got to do something.
Good.
It's not good.
That's not good.
But you know what it is? But my blood pressure's good.
That's good.
Yeah, because
You told me you were boxing now.
I'm trying to box, man.
Start working out.
I'm going to the boxing thing, and it's
Where
like.
you going?
I go to Gloveworks.
Where's that?
Gloveworks in Century City. And
shit. Getting your bucks on.
Yeah, it's
hitting pads. Guys holding pads.
The guys holding the thing, and there's something that tricks you with that though.
Yeah, because they hit back.
Yeah, hitting back.
Yeah, they hit
so
you.
I'm after I've done it a few times, I'm walking around in public like,
fucker.
I wish somebody test me. I wish somebody would test me. Like they're gonna hold up their hands and fight me like this.
Right.
But you know what's something about going to boxing has changed my perception of women. Women in the boxing thing, like they really, that shit is. When you see I'm working out with 5 people, and then the woman goes in, and the guy's like, "Come on," and she's like, bah, 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 bah. And I'm just like, God damn,
she's good.
She's great. I'm like, you can handle yourself. All my preconceived notions of like, and it's something stupid. A stupid male thing is to see a woman fighting, and then the first thought is, oh yeah, somebody hurt her.
You got a lot of that in you.
Yeah.
You're doing that with me.
I know. I have this thing. People.
You just think
People are hurt.
Everybody's getting hurt.
Everybody's hurt. When they. Oh God, this is like therapy. It's coming out. Yeah, maybe I was hurt.
Maybe you need a cassette.
Maybe I need.
You need one of them self-help cassettes.
I do. I'm working on it.
Man, I just dated
you're
myself.
old as fuck. Yeah,
old as fuck.
There's kids out there going like, "What is that cassette?"
What's a cassette?
They don't even know what they don't know what a CD is.
Yeah,
exactly.
How about laser disc, you little fuck? What?
Yeah.
What is this?
But the boxing's been cool. I like it's fun workout. And it's
angry
like,
women are weird though.
Yeah.
It is weird. Somebody sent me a picture of this MMA chick, and she was there's this woman who's down. And she's, I don't know who the lady is. I'm not familiar with her. She doesn't fight in the UFC. But she's got blood on her, and she's going like this. And she's standing up over this chick after she's pounded. She's like this. And I'm like, damn, that is an angry woman.
Listen, I can't do those kind of. I don't like male UFC. I don't leave. It's just too violent for me. I
Have you ever been live?
No.
Do you want to go?
I would go.
I
was watching the other day because I heard your voice.
There's one in L.A. in August.
I'll go. I want to go. Because
I'll get you good seats.
It just seems so like.
It's very. It is that.
By the way, I find it like I don't like watching women hit each other. I just don't like it. I don't know. Maybe that's my male thing. But I think that like, how can we be in a society where we're talking about no violence against women unless it's pay-per-view?
Well, no violence against women by men is what they
Joe,
mean.
let me ask you
this isn't
something.
violence against women. It's a competition.
Do you think that woman that beat up Ronda Rousey,
Amanda Nunes,
do you think that I fight better than her?
No, she'll fuck you up.
She
dude.
will fuck me up.
But that's Amanda Nunes.
Okay, but if I hit Ronda Rousey in the face,
Right.
like her and I go out on a date, we have something happens, we have a scuffle, and it gets on video that I punch Ronda Rousey in the face, I'm now a pariah in society for the rest of my life. But this woman who trains and is like a beast will beat her up. I can't get the disconnect. I can't.
There's not a disconnect. It's a competition. It's a sport.
So
I don't understand where you're missing the connection. There's such a big difference between
I guess.
Erik Griffin. First of all, Ronda ain't going on a fucking date with you. Let's be honest.
Hey, you don't know that? How dare? Well, first of all, how dare
Travis
you?
Brown. He's a fucking killer.
Okay, well maybe they having
Travis Brown.
They had a tough
giant.
patch.
He's a heavyweight UFC fighter.
Okay, so they have a tough patch that week, and she's going out to get
she's
some.
Like, I'm done. I need
I'm
some
done
strange.
with you. I need some strange, and she went to the
She
comedy
wants to
store.
laugh. I'm tired of being with a killer.
You know, she wants somebody cuddly,
soft,
You know, she
squishy.
wants somebody soft and squishy, and then we go out on a date.
Right.
You don't know.
And then you wind up punching her.
Yeah, because
how the fuck does that ever happen?
I don't know. Maybe
have you ever punched anybody in your life? A girl?
No.
Of course not.
Well, when I was in the 6th grade, I think I had a fight with a girl one time, and that's the first time I learned you're not supposed to hit a girl.
Oh,
because she was a bully.
Right.
She was a bully, and she was pushing people and acting. And she did something to me, and I punched her.
Ooh.
And then no matter what she did, the whole yard went. You know, like, you don't hit a girl. And I was like, oh, but remember everybody hated her like a second ago? Then all of a sudden. So I knew at that point, I was like, oh, you can't do that. I knew that there's some kind of difference. I learned it then.
Yeah, that's a good way to learn it before it gets ugly.
Before it gets ugly,
yeah.
Because I was still a little kid.
Grade.
Yeah. It was probably younger than that, too,
you're
actually.
not going to break anybody's jaw.
Right. And you know what pissed me off, too? I'll never forget this. It's so vivid in my head that she immediately went from bully, strong, like, I run this courtyard to... He hit me. And I was like...
Oh, little bitch.
I was like, what just happened?
You ever want to look her up?
Yeah, I know.
See what the fuck she's done to her disaster of a life?
It was Condoleezza Rice, actually. No kidding. What if it was somebody like that? No.
That would be crazy. She's angry at you for punching her all this time. Starting war in Syria and shit.
But I'm saying it could happen.
Okay.
I'm with Ronda.
So let's go back to the difference between you punching Ronda's. That would be the last punch you ever threw. She'd flip you on your head on the concrete, smash your head open, stomp you into a mud puddle.
And if people caught all this on video, all they would say is Erik Griffin hits a woman.
Yes. Or he had it coming.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good for her.
Domestic abuser fuck with the wrong strong woman.
I don't know.
But
I don't
the
like
difference between that and Ronda's a professional mixed martial arts champion. She's a champion and one of the greatest female champions of all time.
I didn't like seeing her face look like that.
She shouldn't have fought that woman.
I didn't like seeing it. What I'm saying though is I didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel any of like, oh, it's a competition and she trains.
Right.
No, what I saw is a bruised and battered woman. That's what I saw.
Well,
and that's probably my problem. Like,
okay, so you must be talking about the Holly Holm fight because that's when the one she was bruised and battered. Yeah. That's when she got head kicked and she was bloody and her face was a mess. The Amanda Nunes fights were just 48 seconds of knuckles in the face. Yeah. That was a quick fight. Yeah. She just got the fuck beat out of her in that fight. But both of those fights, but there's lessons in that. See, you can fight in MMA and there's danger and there's consequences, but if you're in shape and you're prepared correctly, you can fight. But there's a lot of women that weren't prepared correctly, and Ronda fucked them up. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the nail.
I think we also pumped her up. You know, it was like a money marketing. It was great marketing too. She only had fought 10 times.
I pumped her up.
Everybody pumped her up.
But it was me doing a lot of the. But it was based on what she'd been able to accomplish. It wasn't based on bullshit. It was based on her actual performance inside the octagon against people like Kat Zingano, against people like Sarah McMahon. I mean, what she had done was supremely impressive.
But we love a champion. Mm-hmm. We love undefeated. We love being the best ever.
Right.
We get behind that.
Right.
And that's what was behind her going into that fight.
Right.
And it didn't look like that.
Well, that shouldn't have been behind her going into that fight. Maybe the Holly Holm fight.
But
even the Holly Holm fight, she was under massive amounts of distractions. They were going to do Roadhouse, remember? They were going to do a Roadhouse movie.
Yeah.
She's having meetings with agents and they just thought she could fuck up anybody on the planet.
That's what I'm saying.
The problem is unless
it didn't look like it.
100% all in with your training and your learning and your development, and you're making sure that you've got the right training partners and the right coaching and the right staff and nutrition and all these different things. If you have any part of that missing, then the people coming up who have all those bases covered, they're going to surpass you because they're talented too, and that's what happened with her.
You're knee deep in the world. You know everything about it. Okay. As a layperson,
right?
Just looking at them standing next to each other, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna get her ass beat."
So you looking at Rhonda standing next to Holly Holm, you thought that Rhonda was gonna get her ass beat?
Yes, I when I saw it, I was like, "How's this gonna work?"
Why'd you think that?
I don't know. Just the eye test. She just looked
Holly's
bigger.
Very physically
she
impressive.
looked bigger. She was. I just thought she was physically bigger than this person.
Well, have you ever seen Sarah McMahon?
No.
Rhonda stopped Sarah McMahon in one round. Sarah McMahon was an Olympic silver medalist in wrestling, and she's a tank.
I wasn't into it like that. Maybe if I'd seen that, I would have been like, well, this is going to be a good fight. But that was my first time, and just looking at it, I was like, this doesn't look like this is going to be a good fight. That's just... it just I just didn't think it was going to be a good fight. And then you hear you guys talking. You hear like the guys going like, Holly Holm said she's a boxer and this and that. And I'm like, oh, wow, this isn't going to go well. And then sure enough, it didn't go well. So then that made me have like the respect level for female fighting if I'm just coming in. Like at that time, it was like Ronda Rousey's everywhere. She's in movies. She's in and then you're like, oh wow, this is the greatest fighter ever. I hear she's the attraction of a lifetime. Right. And then you go, okay, all right, I'm gonna check it out. Let me check out. Wow, that girl looks big. I don't think this is gonna. And then she gets demolished. And you're like, well, is this a sport? I think that was a big blow for female fighting.
What are you talking about? That was like one of the best things to ever happen to female fighting.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're different in that way. I think she should have won. Would have been the best thing.
No. It's good to know that anyone can lose, even the greats. They get.
I think we compare it to boxing
kicked.
too much, is what it is. Boxing, you got to be undefeated. Boxing, we love undefeated. One blemish on your record, and it does something.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that in MMA.
Right.
Because in MMA, there's so many different ways to win. The only one who's really undefeated at the top of the food chain is, two guys. Khabib Nurmagomedov, who's the lightweight champion. He's undefeated, period. Mauled everybody. Except Al Iaquinta went the distance with him and, but still beat his ass. Still beat him. But John Jones is really undefeated. John Jones has one loss in his career, but it's a disqualification.
Is he the guy that's been disqualified because he was on drugs or something?
He got caught with some shit in his system that he shouldn't have had in his system. And how did he get it in his system? We don't know. It was only in there for a very short amount of time. There's a lot of speculation. We don't, until that gets ironed out.
By the way, one of my good friends in the whole wide world is Erik Koch. He's also a UFC MMA fighter.
You know Erik Koch from Two Crufers' gym?
Yeah, Erik Koch. Yeah, he's a good buddy. We play. You know how I know him? We play video games together.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He really is. He's a crazy dude. Now I know that if I'm in public and some shit is about to go down, I check people's ears.
Oh, that's a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes that doesn't work.
Ooh, his ears look. Yeah, but
some beasts out there that wear ear guards.
Yeah, but
be careful.
No, but Joe, I'm saying I'm not gonna fight anyway.
I know, but don't.
One more year of boxing, I might be like, you don't want to test me.
Once they start doing that pad thing, you start thinking, yeah, man, listen to the noise I'm making.
No, dude, can I tell you one quick? The first time I ever boxed, I was like I went with Craig Robinson.
You and Craig were boxing each other?
No, we weren't boxing each other, but Craig was starting to box, and he took me to this gym, and it was this old black dude. He was like in his 60s, right? Old school black dude. So I got into the ring with him. The guy, he was like, all right, come on in the ring. So I'm in there, and we're boxing. 3 minutes. I have so much more respect for boxers after doing this. So he's like, yo, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. And I'm like, all right. And then he hit me in the head, Joe.
Because you didn't keep your hands up.
And I was like, after he hit me twice, something locks in, man.
You got angry.
Like, oh. And then
tasted your own blood.
It was like 30 seconds left in the fight, and he put his hands up, and he was like, finish the fight like you on the street.
Finish the fight like you're on the street.
And I went like,
kicked him in the nuts and bit his nose off.
I went like this. And I didn't box again for a little while until recently.
So that was one time.
It was so hard. It was like that 3 minutes. I was like, how can these people throw 50 punches?
Well, you got to build up to it, Eric.
I'm going to, man.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna come here. I need to. I want to. I need to work out. I need to. He laughs. You're not gonna. He's laughing like you can't deal with a Joe Rogan workout.
The key is
how come you don't do a workout tape?
I thought about doing one a while ago, but
you should.
I'd rather. I do too many things publicly. I'd rather just keep some things to just myself.
This is a man who has a family now, has reached a level of success that he is comfortable, and now you're starting to see like not everyone needs to know everything.
It's not just that. There's value in doing things just for you.
Privacy.
No. Huh? No, just working on stuff and doing things just for you. Don't do things publicly. Like everybody in this day and age, everybody does everything on social media, and I've done a bunch of things, put them on social media. But I think there's benefit. Like, why do you do the things you do? Like, why I do the things I do for two reasons. One, either I enjoy them, or I think they make me better. They make me a better person. Like,
this is gonna all be on your tape.
I do a lot of yoga. Like I did yoga today. And I do it a lot. And one of the reasons why I do it, I think it makes me a better person. I think it makes me more mellow, which I think is good. I have a tendency to not be mellow. It makes me more friendly. I think it calms me down, and I think it's very good for my body. So I do it all the time. But I'm not about to do some fucking yoga video.
I think I do stand-up for that reason.
Yoga calms you down?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's interesting.
Yeah, I do stand-up to like, it does. It calms me down. If something happens to me, I go directly to the stage.
That's a great way to work on it, though. Like, and develop material.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. Even if it's something that's like silly, like if I see a movie that moves me, I might go on stage and be like, "Did y'all see this movie?"
Where are you working out now? I know you do the store and I know you do the factory, but do you fuck around like go to the Ha or the Ice House?
Yeah.
Flappers, all that shit.
My start was when I knew I wanted to do this, I was going to open mics, and then I went to Long Beach. They had this place called the Queen Mary, and they had a Laugh is Hope. This guy Steve Kimbrough had this really shitty club on the Queen Mary.
Dude, we did Fear Factor in the Queen Mary. I was right down there, and I remember they had someone was doing a room there.
That's the room you're talking about. So I did that, and then I started doing the Ice House, the Annex.
That's a good room.
And they had that 3 shows on Friday, 3 shows on Saturday. So I started doing that. From there, I went to the Ha. And then I was like hosting on the weekends, and then Terry from the Ha, God bless her soul.
By the way, what are you doing Wednesday night?
Wednesday night, I'm around.
You want to do the Ice House?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wednesday night, 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Ice House. I'm with Joe Rogan.
Sold out. Tony Hinchcliffe's on the show too.
Yeah, I love Tony. So then I went to the Ice House. Then I started going to Ha, and then I got a showcase at the Comedy Store. And Mitzi didn't even look at me.
She didn't even look.
Didn't even talk to me.
What year?
It was the year Jay Davis got passed, so I wanted to kill myself. I showcased with Jay Davis. That's not rude. Jay knows. I'll say this to his fucking face. He knows. So we're showcasing the same day,
right?
And she passed him, and then didn't even talk to me. Okay, so she
didn't even watch you.
She didn't. She watched me, and I went down. I was like, I said she didn't like it. That's what I thought. Which really pissed me off.
What year is this again?
Dude, this must have been 2003-ish.
So this is when Jay was on Tourgasm with Dane Cook.
Yes. Oh. Dane was supposed to showcase that night too, but he refused to come because he was Dane Cook, and I get it.
So he refused to showcase.
Well, that's what I hear. I shouldn't even say that.
Well, that was the
I know
deal,
Dane, and I should ask him before I'm talking about this. But you had to showcase, right?
Do you know Louis C.K. didn't get past at the store?
Well, I get it. I mean,
Mitzi's like, I don't like him.
She got her own thing. So I get to showcase. My then friend Ahmed set up to showcase that night, and I didn't get past. So a year and a half later, I had to deal with Tommy. And listen, as what people get on him, and I think Tommy's out there thinks I hate him, but I know there was a method to his madness, and maybe if he didn't even know it, it worked for me because he was my villain. He was my enemy. Okay, so I had to get past him. He was the gatekeeper I had to get past. So it took me a year and a half of like doing belly room and just hanging around, and people keep saying to him, hey, you should put Erik Griffin, So then I got another showcase. It was in the main room during one of those bringer shows. They were doing the showcases during those. And she was there. They had her in her booth. And I did my set. I ran the fucking light too. I was like, fuck this.
Whoa. What year are we talking about?
This is like a year later. So it's like 2005. Damn. 2005, 2006. And then it's around that time, 2004, 5, 6. I'm not sure when it was, And then as I'm leaving, they're bringing her through the main room, and they're helping her through the hallway to go to the kitchen. And she stops and she looks at me and says, "You were funny."
Ooh.
And those are the only words she ever spoke to me.
That's all you need.
That's all I needed. And then Tommy comes over and he's like, well, she passed you. You're in the belly room now.
Headbutted him right in the nose.
In his fucking mouth, right?
Shut the fuck up.
And then he told me I had to be in the belly room for a year, and I knew that was a lie. She passed me. So again, but I needed the challenge. You know,
Right.
One of my best moments for me personally.
I like what you did there. You just
I had to know because I gotta tell you,
threw your hand back. Like we're in the Tonight Show.
Yeah, man. Richard over at Comedy and Magic, you know, and I love Richard.
Sure, I love Richard.
So
Great
I tried to showcase for Richard.
They're the nicest people ever.
They're
over there.
so nice. They treat comics the best.
Yeah,
you
Mike
know,
Lacey.
You go there. You go there not to do comedy. You go there to get food.
Go there to hug people.
And hug people. Hang out with good people, man. For real. So I remember I tried to showcase for him. I sent him a tape, and he was like, "Eric, you're too dirty," and all this stuff, and he wouldn't pass me. So Maz Jobrani, this is years later now. Maz Jobrani's doing a show, and he says, "Eric, you want to be on my show?" So I'm standing in the hallway before I go on with the MC, and then we're joking about being clean. And I say, you know what? I'm going to go up there and pull my dick out. A guy in the suit is walking down the hallway. This guy in the suit is walking. He goes, hey, please don't do that. And I go, you know, I'm just kidding. And we laugh a little bit. I go on stage. I murder it. And then I'm headed to the green room, and that same guy in the suit comes running at me, and it's Mike. It's the owner.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he says, hey, he goes, man, you're hilarious. Why aren't you working at my club? Why don't I know you? At that moment, Richard is in the hallway. And then I look at Richard and I go, yeah, Richard, why am I not working here? And he's like, well, you know, you were dirty. I was like, I can play clean. I played churches. I played cruise ships. I'm a professional comedian. My point about this is that moment of him squirming and like being like, okay, you're in. And after that, I was in. That was worth waiting for. As opposed to like trying to bully my way into places.
Right.
Like I felt like I earned that.
Yeah.
And since then, Rich and I were friends, you know? It's like, but I had to earn that.
You had to earn it.
I had to like find the right moment. I had to like, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, man.
Could I have been on the Wednesday night Ice House show with Joe Rogan before? Possibly.
Do you know Joey?
You have to get into these situations.
Joey can't work with me at the Ice House. The one place.
Why?
They won't have him. Too dirty.
What do you do?
He went up. Be talking about sniffing his balls and
one
eating ass.
One too many cocksucker.
Doing the pigeon, sticking his nose up girls' asses. While he's going down on them from behind. I do the pigeon. And they would just first of all, he was murdering to the point where like drinks were falling off tables, the lights were dimming, they were shorting out. And Mike was like, you know, Mike's the sweetest guy in the world. He goes, I love you. I think you're amazing. He goes, but I can't have you in this club. You're just too dirty. And he's like, look, he goes, I understand. You know, Joey wasn't mad at him. You know, he's like one of the only guys that told Joey that he can't work. But Joey was already successful by then. He just would work. You know, Joey always works with me, so he just didn't want to do it.
Joey called me. You know what I got to say? Like one of my favorite phone calls I've had is Joey Diaz calling me the other day. He's, you know, I don't do this, cocksucker. You know, I don't. You were really good on him dying up here, and he just giving me compliments.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I just don't. And I was like, when it comes from someone that you believe is 100% genuine.
Yeah.
And then in the way he was talking about it, I was like, oh, that's great. That's what you want. That's what I learned when I got back into it later too, by the way. When I was 30, I knew that you had to get the respect of your peers. These people that you do this business with have to think you're funny because those are the people that are going to get you work.
Well, they have to like you.
They have to like you too.
Yeah, that's a big one. Like you have to be a nice person, and you know
I try to be.
What you are a nice, very nice person. But one of the things that's nice about the Comedy Store for sure is that I think, and I attribute this to the internet because I think what's going on with the internet now is there's so many opportunities for for comedians now that we're not in competition with each other anymore.
I don't think we've ever been.
We used to be like that, man. In the 90s, everybody was like dog eat dog. It was different. Like there was a lot of people back then that felt like, say, if you got something, like you got a TV show, why didn't I get that fucking show? There's people that thought there was a limited number of things. It's what I call famine thinking. You ever heard that expression?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
That expression is a deadly fucking, it's just a poison to your life and the way you think about the world. And a lot of people have that problem, that famine thinking.
I think people still feel like that now, and but I always liken it to golf. You know, I think that we're on a leaderboard. but we're still fighting against ourselves.
Yeah, but
and
no, because
and the
golf, you're
course.
competing. You're still competing for the championship. There's no competing at the Comedy Store.
No, I know. But what I'm
in
saying,
the world of
but what-
stand-up comedy today, I think there's so many opportunities. There's so many places to work. So many especially when you're doing the road. There's so many theaters, so many comedy clubs, so many.
But there's still only 52 weeks in a year. Think about that.
What the fuck does that mean?
How many headliners are there in do you think? You know?
Real ones?
Yeah.
300. I'm not joking.
Okay. Well, then
I'm not
that's the
joking.
case.
Maybe worldwide.
Well, there's only okay. Well, then there is
For
enough
real.
then, because there's like
How many do you think there are? How many? Is there 500? There might be 500.
well, I'm saying at a club though, there's only 52 weeks
Right,
for
at
them
one
to book
fucking
one guy.
club. But that's one club.
So then there's
but you travel, right? There's fucking hundreds of cities.
well, I mean, it's still a fight out there, man.
Dude, fuck all that thing.
For the good weekends.
Nah, what weekend? July 4th weekend?
No,
Shit,
those
you
are the
can be
bad
anywhere.
weekends. Those are the weekends I get. I get Mother's Day, Father's Day, July 4th.
Dude, I get those too. I do those weekends.
Yeah, you get.
I like them.
You're doing. When's the last time you did a Thursday night at a club?
I don't usually do Thursday nights
we go,
anywhere
see?
other than the store.
That's what I'm saying. You don't do
But I'll do Thursday
nights.
nights on the road. Like
Oh,
I'll do
even
a
on the
theater.
road?
Yeah, I'll
well,
do
the
a theater.
theater's different. But I'm saying, like, there was a time when you got to a point
Yes.
where you were doing Friday, Saturday, and you're out.
Yes.
Right?
At clubs, yeah.
At clubs.
Yeah.
You know, so there's still.
But that was just because I just got tired of the fucking grind.
Yeah.
You know what got me more than anything is doing morning radio where you had to get up early in the morning and then you try to get some sleep and you never could and then you just wrecked. And then the only time you
Is
didn't get
morning radio working?
it doesn't
Does
work
that
anymore.
work?
But back in the day it did.
They still make you do it.
They're crazy. They're crazy. That's a waste of time.
You know, and it's always the same thing. It's a guy, uncle,
Yeah.
something,
Yeah,
his
I mean,
sidekick.
It must work in some places.
must.
I
I don't
don't know. I mean, I'm talking out of my ass if I
I sometimes am going to go on when I go on stage and go, who heard me on the radio? Who's
nobody.
here? No,
But meanwhile, you were up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like if you don't get good sleep, and that's a problem with doing 3 nights in a row in different places when I tour.
I just in New York. I
That
was just at
third
Caroline's.
night, you gotta. The third night, well, 3 nights in a row. If you're just in Caroline's, that's okay because you're getting up in the morning in the same hotel room. But when you get up and you have to go to the airport and then fly, land in a new
right,
place,
right.
take a shower, go to the gym, try to wake up. That's where it fucks you up. 3 nights in a row. By the time the third night comes around, you're like, damn, I'm kind of worn the fuck out.
Well, you just said something that's not even a part of my thing. Like, you know, you said like get up, go to the gym. Like, I gotta add that.
You gotta add that. This is
I gotta
my move.
add that one, man.
When I fly somewhere, if I fly in, I put my fucking bag down. I unzip it. I take my shorts out. I put my fucking running shoes on or whatever I'm gonna wear. I go right to the gym.
Really?
Right to the gym. I don't fuck around because
wouldn't
if
have
I
to do
don't, I'm
this.
not gonna do it.
I feel you.
If I'm staying in a nice hotel and they have a 24-hour gym, that's my favorite. I'll just put my fucking headphones on and just whatever
I don't
it
know
is,
what
I
to
just
do in the gym.
Just get on a fucking elliptical machine and do a half an hour. Just make yourself sweat.
You know what I like to do? This is going to sound crazy, but I love doing those like
Jerk off?
insanity. Well, that's what I would fill that spot with.
Jerk off.
When
take a
I
nap,
get to I
order
put
ice
my
cream,
bag down, take my shorts off.
get my one sock ready.
I never did that. Who does that? Why do
Jerking off
people
your
say
sock.
that?
It's a
Why would
joke.
you jerk off on your sock?
People are gross.
What sort of is this supposed to simulate some sort of like
A
really
vagina.
loose pussy?
Yeah,
Like,
some sort of a
some woolly pussy.
yeah, some sort of cottony pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you have a
Pussy-
silk sock.
Yeah, and even then,
It
it feels like you'll cut yourself. But
But if you
anyways,
bring like a fleshlight with you on the road, you're a creep
yeah, because the moment that they go through your bag, that they're
at the airport.
at the airport.
Stanhope did that once right after 9/11. He traveled with a briefcase, no, not a briefcase, a suitcase filled with dildos and rubber fists and all this shit. And of course, they had checked it everywhere he went. And that was why he's doing it. They're like opening up his bag and like, what is this? He's like, it's my sex toys. And they can't say shit because sex toys aren't outlawed.
Have you seen how crazy these sex robots are looking?
Yes, they have.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you know how this feeling we have about self-driving cars? Mm-hmm. There's a fear out there about self-driving cars. We're not there yet. It's not going to be our generation that fully embraces it. We're 10, 15 years away from like, this is going to be a normal thing.
Right.
This the same thing with the sex dolls.
I think you're right.
When I see them, I have a disconnect of like I would never. I just they just look.
You say that now, but if it gets to like Ex Machina style,
Oh well, I mean, Joe.
that's coming. But that's gonna
so
happen,
will I.
man. What is this?
But
Jamie?
they gotta be self-cleaning.
They have
You know
a
what I mean?
life-size sheep.
I googled sex
How did
robot and
you-
a sheep comes
bitch,
up.
you got that bookmarked.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Wait. First of all, is this one on the left for pedophiles?
I don't know. It's I just typed in sex robot.
It
These are
says
the
girl
top two things
mannequin
that
with
popped up.
realistic features.
Yeah,
What in the
so-
fuck? Whoa.
Yeah.
That is creepy as
Yeah,
fuck,
dude,
dude.
I don't know about that one right there, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that one
that
looks-
is creepy. That one on the left,
What's the one, the real doll one?
that is
right
a
there?
fucking little kid,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is creepy as shit.
Well, I guess that's one way to,
Jamie, don't click on that.
It's a display. It's not a sex robot. I don't know why it's popping up there.
Yeah, then why'd you click right on the
Yeah,
crotch part?
but hold on a second. But that's under. But you
You did, I saw
Googled
that.
sex
Yeah,
robot,
yeah, and that's what's coming up.
and the first thing is
Shop
girl,
for sex robot on girl mannequin with realistic features.
Dude, that's fucking gross.
That's fucking
Meet Harmony, the sex robot.
Oh,
throw
go to
this-
her. Go to her. Like, that looks like at least a grown ass woman sex robot.
Is that her?
Go
That
full
would be
screen.
dope.
Let me see this shit.
This is one I've seen.
Vice Land piece.
There's always some.
Wow, I look like my friend
Oh
Johnny.
my God.
Whoa, that's what she looks like?
yeah.
She looks that good?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Oh, Jesus
So, but there's still
Christ.
something.
Oh,
wow.
Jesus.
That's how they want it though, with the head covered, just the ass sticking out.
So weird. Oh, God, that's even weirder. Look at that hole where the neck is. Jesus, this is
look at the
strange.
booty.
Yeah. So, damn, that is unbelievably lifelike, though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, come on, man. This is a scene in a science fiction movie. If this was like 1960, this is a science fiction movie. Oh, she can blink slowly and seductively. Oh, look at it. Look how she's blinking with her perfect lips.
I know. It's just, I don't know.
Like, if this was a science fiction movie from like the 1960s and they had this, we'd be like, whoa, this is crazy. Because it would be so far removed from
Yeah,
reality.
so far fetched. There's no way
Yeah.
that this is gonna. But look at what they're doing.
But this is not far fetched. This is
See,
close.
You know
We're
what I think?
close.
You know what I think that this is going to be bypassed by is virtual reality,
Yeah.
like brain links. Or some sort of thing where like you can stimulate the mind in a way that you think things are happening.
Yeah.
I think that's going to bypass all of this technology.
I think it's going to be both, but I think you're right that that's coming too. I think this is coming too. I think the ability to have like a realistic robot that'll fuck you. That's not hard because you just think about all the moves that it has to do.
I know.
It's not a lot of moves. I think also
They'll be quiet.
I think also a good thing, if it's possible, is have a robot like that to practice martial arts on. Like
Oh.
have a robot that throws punches and kicks.
Look,
and
see now
block 'em.
now you're thinking about improving society, not just for sex. So you can have a robot teach you to play piano,
Yeah.
teach you how to do like.
I'm just talking about a robot that you can fuck up, like leg kick.
this is what I'm
it
saying,
and
though.
Body kick it. And
But,
it's not going to
it's
hurt
a
it.
training thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you
That's
go.
totally possible.
Yeah,
Just have it like
have a
move
robot in there
slowly.
cooking.
How it doesn't move quickly, but it moves slowly. So you could just work on drills and shit. They already have one? Oh no, they don't, Jamie. This is just a fucking punching bag that moves back and forth. This thing's stupid. That thing's dumb. That's
Good
that's
try,
a good.
though.
Oh, you want one with that throws back at you.
Yeah, I want a
Okay, gotcha.
person. This is like, what this is good for is hyperextending your fucking elbows. You're gonna miss this thing and hurt yourself. I don't think that's a good idea, honestly. I think if you're gonna hit
your
something-
idea about
Yeah.
having instead of having a sex robot, that same technology used for fighting,
Martial arts, yeah.
training.
Yeah, because I have a dummy that I practice jujitsu on, but it's like this. It's called a Bubba dummy. It just lays there like this. But I can practice arm bars and triangles. I can do reps on it. I just do reps.
right.
But it's not as good as doing it with a person. But it's hard to get a person just stand there and let you fucking choke them over and over and over
That's
again.
what I'm saying.
But a robot.
Could.
You could get a male sex doll. You order it specifically. I want the butthole sealed. I want the dick removed.
Wait. Hold on.
I don't want the
First of all,
mouth closed. I want to.
Hold on. Why does the butthole need to be sealed? So you don't want to be tempted?
No one can accuse me of any shenanigans.
Okay.
It doesn't even work, bro.
All right,
I'll
all
show
right.
you.
We're gonna be
I'll
like,
take the gi off
we're
of
like,
this.
Joe, why does the butthole still work?
Hey, I don't know. I specifically called and said no butthole.
Why is this cock so large on your?
Why is it glistening? Why does it smell like strawberries?
Yeah, it should always be dirty too. Yeah. Why is your
It's always dirty.
Yeah, it should be
A couple of specks of blood on it.
Yeah, it shouldn't feel like it's been cleaned and used.
Jesus Christ.
You keep the plastic on it like a phone. You know when you get your phone.
But those real dolls, they move like a real person. Like if you didn't mind practicing on the girl real doll, you would order the girl real doll with like small breasts. So like the breasts don't get in the way, and then you can work your mount, get your arm bars in, your triangles, and then when you're done, you fuck her.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
So it's probably like dating,
No, it's very different than dating.
Oh.
When you're dating,
No, I'm talking about if you're dating a UFC. Like, do you think Ronda Rousey and her guy, do they have they get excited like that when they're like fighting each other?
I doubt it.
Or they just stay away from that completely?
I bet they do that. I bet they don't even train together. Well, she's done fighting. Now she just does WWE.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I think that's great for her.
Well, she's great at it. She's very good at it.
She's a decent enough actress. She's an entertainer.
She's an entertainer. Yeah, and that's
what all this is supposed to be
yeah.
anyway. It's all entertainment.
Right. It's like, what is it for? It's just to distract you and give you something fun to watch.
But we're so close to Roman times where we want someone. I mean,
Did you see that bare knuckle boxing event they did this past weekend?
No, see, I can't with that, man. I'm just not into like watching violence like that. I have a problem with it. Because you know why? It's
Why?
like Muhammad Ali, like how he was later in his life. I go, why would anyone do this? Even when I watch professional athletes, like
These guys
oh
got
my
cut up.
God, this is what I'm saying. Like I can't. Wow,
They did it in Wyoming. Legalized bare knuckle boxing.
that just looks horrible.
Well, the idea is you can't hit people as hard with bare knuckles, so you're going to get cut up a little bit, but you're not going to get the same kind of head trauma. No, it's definitely true.
Remember the dude in the no man? What about what's his name that hit Rudy Tomjanovich?
I don't know who that is.
The coach, old coach from Houston. Remember when he was playing in the NBA? That they used to fight in the NBA in the 70s.
They fist fight?
They used to fist fight. They used to
Okay.
have real fights, and somebody got
1977.
clocked in the head, and he broke his orbital bone.
So is this
And
like this was normal?
This is real things, man.
me see this.
They would just fight. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. He found it. See?
Yeah.
Now
Show the replay.
you got to see the replay, yeah, because he came.
So what's happening here? It's hard to see what's going on.
Rudy comes, and this guy clocks him in the head.
Oh, so I was looking at the wrong dudes.
Yeah. Watch, here he comes. He's just coming in to stop the fight, and this guy thought he was coming at him.
Oh, and he's running right towards him too.
that ruined his career.
Did it?
Yes,
Well, that's an orbital fracture, and that's real common in MMA. It happens all the time.
but like imagine with knuckles.
No, I do.
So you really think that
that's not as bad? I'm telling you.
You think that with gloves is worse?
Just as bad. You can hit harder. Trust me. You can hit someone harder because it doesn't hurt your hands. The gloves are not protecting the opponent. The gloves are protecting your hand.
Oh, I get that from doing this boxing. 'Cause
Yeah,
I take
you
my
should
hand
get
out of
that.
these gloves,
Right.
and my fucking fingers are killing me.
Right. Take no gloves and go over
Right.
to my heavy bag because that heavy bag is stiff. Go over and start punching that.
Oh,
thing.
I know.
It'll
It's gonna
hurt your
yeah, it's
fucking
gonna,
hands.
Yeah, I get it.
Same with punching a person.
14 ounce or 16 ounce. I'm not sure which. I don't know what I feel, but sometimes with the 14 ounces, I feel like, oh, this is.
You got a little more speed.
I got a little more. Yeah. You
2
know,
extra ounces
Yeah.
missing. Yeah. Well, these are 0 ounces. Your hands move very
Oh,
fast.
you got those 0 ounce gloves?
Yeah. Well, in MMA, they're 4. They're 4 ounces.
Oh, I couldn't even. Listen, that looked terrible. Those
Yeah.
guys' faces. That can't be. You could break someone's nose.
Dude, everybody's nose gets broken in the UFC. Everybody. Everybody's face gets broken. Orbital bones.
This is your world, man.
Yeah.
I get it. I hear you. I turn the thing on and I hear your voice. And
But
the
I
other
bet-
day I was on FX. I was like, oh, that's Joe Rogan. And you were just going in. You sound like a totally different person. It's crazy. You get you're in a whole different in that mode too. You just sound like if it was like a Rocky movie. And then you hear the announcers. That's you right there. You got it down, man.
Well, I've been doing it a long time.
I know it's
Yeah.
great, but that's your world. So I'm not trying to disrespect your world, but it's just too violent for me.
That what you seen with that punch, that was 1977, and they probably didn't know how to fix those things back then. But now they know how to fix orbital fractures and things along those lines.
Doesn't make it okay.
But I'm telling you, it's not if that guy punched that guy with gloves on, it would have been just as bad.
Oh, all right.
Unless it was boxing gloves.
Right.
Boxing gloves, he probably wouldn't have got hurt as much because you're dealing with a big, thick, heavy pad.
Yeah.
You know, boxing gloves, 8-10 ounces, depending on the fight.
All right.
You know.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It seems like it's worse.
It seems
than
like
it
it's
is.
worse.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, that's
but
why
I didn't know that.
What you get mostly is cuts. Like you see those guys were all cut up because the knuckles, the bare knuckles, are hitting skin.
Yeah, this feels when I do this, if I'm knocking on, I just feel I just feel how that would be like. Oh man, oof.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people, I was saying for the longest time, you shouldn't have even wraps on your hands because it gives people an unrealistic idea of what you could do with your hands. And why are there pads on your knuckles when there's not pads on your shins or pads on your knees or pads on your heel or pads on your elbow? Because you're smashing people with elbows. There's way more power that you can generate hitting someone with an elbow, with a bare elbow, than you can with a bare fist. Because a bare fist, if you hit someone in the forehead or even in the cheek sometimes,
you'll break your hand.
But not with the elbow. With the elbow, you could hit foreheads and face. And you could hit everything. And
like a good headbutt, too.
Yeah, there was a... Jamie, I'm gonna have you pull something up because I sent this to Shab. There's something that... Give me 1 second here and I'll find this. Because Josh Emmett. See if you can find... Just Google this. Josh Emmett details hellish road back to health following Jeremy Stevens KO. MMA
what is that stuff
fighting.com.
you got over there?
What stuff? This?
Yeah.
That's Alpha Brain. It's a cognitive enhancing formula. Yeah, you should.
Is this the Limitless pill?
Dumb motherfucker. Yeah. No, it actually tastes good. And
after this, now we're going to be talking about science. And
so this dude...
I can't even open it. I don't even... Okay, here we go.
Bite it and tear it open. That dude got KO'd by Jeremy Stevens, who's like one of the most ruthless knockout artists in the UFC, and he's got major facial fractures. His like orbital was fractured, his cheekbone was fractured, his nasal cavity was fractured, like fucking everything is fractured. And he just had emergency surgery, like the second surgery. He went to Orlando where the fight was, and they either misdiagnosed him or they missed some of the injuries, but he was still fucked up. They didn't catch a lot of things, he says. And then he went to another doctor and got an MRI, and they immediately took him into surgery. Like, dude, your fucking whole head is broken.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But this is legal. Here's my thing.
Have you fought yourself? You fought,
not
right?
Not in this stuff. There was no MMA where I was fighting. I kickboxed, and I fought in a lot of Taekwondo tournaments.
There's nothing in you to fight now?
I'm 50 years old. What the fuck am I doing that?
Don't they got like a 42 and over league?
They don't, but there are some guys that are in their 40s that still fight. But it's
a young man's game, right?
Well, it's also a young man's game because by the time you're 40, you got to think you've been doing it for a long time, which means you've been absorbing a lot of punishment for a long time, which means you should probably be done. Yeah. Like if you want to live into your 70s and 80s and be able to hold your bowels in and know where your keys are, there's a certain point in time where you can't get hit anymore.
Dude, you look at even other sports. Mm-hmm. You notice how you ever see these old basketball players how they can't walk?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, knees get devastated.
Yeah, they can't. They're like Doc Rivers. I got Clippers tickets, so I see Doc Rivers. He's on the sideline. You can't even.
He's also a really tall guy, and that alone, all those leverage points, and all the impact, the constant, and especially. I mean, a lot of these guys, they didn't understand overtraining. They overtrained. They had injuries. They just toughed it out, worked through them. Back injuries, weird spinal issues.
That's why I think they should let every professional athlete there's a week period where they get to take some steroids and recover.
A week?
Yeah, just a week.
That's not enough.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You'd have to be on a cycle. For 6 to 8 weeks.
But they have so in the off season, you get that 6 to 8 weeks of like that steroid cream,
right.
and cryotherapy. Mm-hmm.
Well, they can do the cryo
to get your body back.
No, I agree with you.
Because the doctor gives regular people steroids to recover from certain injuries.
Sure.
And then we're paying these people to entertain us. Well, we should allow them to take a moment to okay, well, here's my 6 week period. I'm gonna get my steroids in and get myself back to normal, then we'll start training camp.
I agree. The problem is when you go on a cycle, like say if you went on a steroid cycle, your endocrine system shuts down. And so then when you go off the steroids, your body has a normalization period. And a lot of time, I don't know the hard numbers, but I think what they try to say is it's 50% of the time that you were on the steroids. So say if you're on steroids for 3 months, you would need a 1.5 month recovery period before your hormones normalize.
Oh.
And sometimes you need help getting your hormones to normalize. There's a bunch of things called clomiphene. There's a bunch of different...
Is that also illegal stuff?
Yes, all those are illegal.
Oh, well, there you go.
Depending on what the regulations are and what sport you're in. But in MMA,
are you into
all
other
that
sports?
shit-
You watch football, basketball, and all that? Or are you just
Dude,
strictly...
I don't even know the rules. I don't know what's happening. When I watch a football game,
You're
people
literally
are
a caveman.
blowing whistles. I'm not. I just don't have any room. I watch professional pool.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're one of those. I
Yeah.
got you.
I
You must
just-
love going to Canada. You know, every time I go
love
to Canada and I turn on their ESPN in Canada,
Snooker.
and they got the darts,
Curling.
they got curling, they got stuff where I go, we would never show this bullshit. In the United States. Can I get a Kleenex, man?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm nasally.
And we just ran out over here.
Oh.
There you go, nasally. So
at
it's
me.
not that like I'm a caveman. It's just I like Jesus, Eric.
I know.
Why are you doing that on mic?
I got a big nose.
Push that microphone
I'm
to the
four
side.
feet away from the.
But you're blowing hard with that schnozzle. You're going deep, son. You just made people throw up. There's people listening to isn't it funny how the fluid coming out of people's noses is so vile? The sound, like when you're on a basketball court or something like that, and someone does a snot rocket.
Oh.
And you see it like whoa, whoa.
This from the guy that wants to watch blood on people's face.
I don't want to watch blood on people's face. I just think that it would be
You don't get a thrill out of that.
realistic.
You don't get a thrill out of when somebody gets punched and then they turn around and they're just like you know.
I don't get a thrill out of that.
All right.
I get a thrill out of knockouts for sure, and
Which is worse.
Guys hitting people with big shots, but it's like not specifically about blood. In fact, I don't like blood because it gets in the way and it stops fights.
Stops the fight.
Yeah, that's the argument against elbows. Actually, is that the cuts stop good fights, but they also knock people out. Why don't you just throw that out like a big boy? Is there garbage over there? Where's the garbage, Jamie?
Is this bugging?
Get out fucking garbage.
Just seeing
There's a
it is
big
like bothering you.
Bag of snot. Sitting there,
I
you
double
freaking-
wrapped
there,
it.
It's right there. Drop that. Thank
I
you.
double wrapped it, man.
Yeah, but it's sitting on the table and that snot's trying to get out.
Oh yeah. It's like Alien. It's like I had to get it out. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how we got from sex robots to snot. It was a circuitous path.
That's what happens on this podcast, man.
yeah.
I watch it a lot. You go from I'm like, how'd they get there?
We don't even know. We don't know what we did. We don't know how it got there.
Well, I guess I should probably also, plug my, my new specials coming out on.
Oh, is that why you're here?
Is that why I'm here?
When is it coming out? And how can the folks
Friday.
at home get it?
June 8th on Showtime, American
shit.
Warrior. I sent you a clip, but I know
That's
you
what
didn't
you are,
watch it.
American Warrior?
Yeah, I
That's
called
what
it
you
American. Well, with the American, Erik is in the name American.
Right.
And so I just spell it with a K.
Oh, American.
Yeah.
I like. Oh, look at that. American
there it
Warrior.
is. On Showtime.
I like it. That's actually, dude, that looks cool.
Yeah.
I like the background. Where'd you film that shit?
In Portland, at the Star Theater in Portland.
Oh, dude, I love Portland.
Yeah, Portland was great. And this one, my first special, The Ugly Truth, that I was talking about, Kevin Christie drew that for me.
Did he really?
Yeah, isn't that
Oh, that's
fantastic?
amazing. Kevin's so talented.
I wanted to be on a road and then have a chicken next to me with grenades on it. You know what I mean?
Like, why the chicken cross the road?
So you get it.
Yes,
Thank you.
That's a great picture, though, man. That's just as
he
good.
he did a great job.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, so in this one I really go for it on this one, man. I'm talking about award show protesting. I'm talking about the kneeling for the national anthem, Me Too, Tiger Woods. I'm going in on this one.
Going
Man.
in.
Yeah.
Hard. So you're happy with it?
I am happy with it.
Beautiful.
Because the thing about one thing that's weird about specials now that they have to be, you could tell, they filmed that a year ago or 2 years ago, and it's we're not allowed to
Topical shit.
do topical stuff. And I
Yeah.
feel because there's so much content out there right now, it's get it out there. I want to know. For me, I want to know what Joe Rogan thinks about the stuff that's going on. I want to see
Right.
you talk about it for 30 minutes on a national scale. And we just
Right.
don't do that, and we got to do that now. I think we should be doing that because they're putting out stuff so fast anyway. Then it's not special anymore. You need to stop calling them specials. They're not special.
What is the name for them if they're not specials?
It's
right?
just it's our
It is
content.
a weird name.
It should be like our conversations.
Yeah. But
So
it's
this is
like
an Erik Griffin conversation.
the Rolling Stones don't put out a special; they put out an album.
They put out an album.
right? Like, what do? We put out a special.
They were
That's-
special because it was only 5 of them a year,
Right.
And you had to be a giant to get one, and it
Right.
was like a celebration of your career and your fans. It was like, I've made it. Here's this, so
Right.
your fans could go, yo. To not fans, come watch this. This guy's really funny.
And you
now
do
we're
make
introducing
maybe 4 of them in a career.
a career.
Yeah.
This is my second one now. Nobody saw the first one. You know what I mean? So
How long, the first one wasn't that long ago either. It was like 2 years ago.
No, it was last year. It came out last year, but I taped it
The
2 years ago, a year before.
Right. So it took a year to come out.
It took a year to come out because they wanted it to come out with the show.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
dying up here.
see.
Sundays on Showtime.
Yeah.
They wanted it to come out with the show, and so the same thing happened this year. Like, I'm dying up here's out.
And if someone doesn't have Showtime, can they watch it on Amazon or
they
anything
can.
like that?
Eventually, they'll be able to. But it's one of
Is
those things. You
Showtime
gotta
on
have
demand? Do
Showtime.
they
Yeah, you get the Showtime Anytime app.
Oh, okay.
Showtime Anytime, and you can watch it there. And I just think that we need to. I want to hear with all this stuff that's been going on, especially with Trump in the Trump era. Imagine like.
Did you see what he said today?
What,
Do he thinks he could pardon himself?
dude, there's always.
He wrote pardon in
He
all
thinks
caps.
he can pardon himself.
He wrote pardon in all caps. In all caps, he wrote pardon. Like this is
man.
like
We did this.
well, people did it.
We
I didn't
did it.
do it. I
I'm just
voted for
saying-
Gary Johnson. He was on my podcast. I voted for him.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so you see, well, that's a vote for Trump, really, in this day and age.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
It's not because it's California, and California went for Clinton anyway. But because the Electoral College.
Yeah, but by the way, if they got rid of the Electoral College, then
Right.
the Republican candidate would come to California, they'd go up to Northern California, and they'd get 10, 15 million votes
Right.
for them anyway. So
Northern, yeah.
Yeah, Northern
Well,
California. So
Anything between San Francisco and all the way down the 5 to coming to here too, not just Northern California. Because people think of Northern California as being like San Francisco, but no. There's
no.
hours
Oh,
of
yeah.
driving above San Francisco.
you could drive for 8 hours and still be in California.
Yeah.
Like, that's how
California is a day drive.
Yeah.
If you go from Mexico
nightmare.
all the way up to Oregon, it's a day.
big. These people that live on the East Coast and Midwest, they could in 2 hours they could go through 4 states.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they have.
And it's not us, man.
Yeah.
Over here, that's why it's tough to.
Well, that's why they want to change into like 3 Californias. Have you heard that shit?
Yeah, they don't want to do that shit.
They're talking about putting it on the ballot.
Be a poor state.
It wouldn't be good because LA would have all the fucking money.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be LA, San Francisco, and then farmers.
Yeah, I think they just want to get. It would be another. What would they do to? What would that do to the electoral votes?
That's a good question.
Like we have 55 now, so then it would be like what 20? Like the main epicenter. Well, wherever there's urban ethnic people, though, they're gonna draw those.
What are you
those-
showing me, Jamie?
California is the 5th largest economy in the world.
in the world?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, take that, Uruguay.
We beat out the whole of the UK. We beat out the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
The United Kingdom is Scotland too, right? That's not just England, Scotland.
it's all of
Who
it.
else is it? Is it Ireland? Is that the UK?
I think so, yeah.
Christ.
So
That's a big fucking place.
isn't it like 20% of the entire population of the United States live in California?
13% or something like that.
Something
or
silly.
8%. It's like 1 in 13.
But we don't know the real numbers.
Oh, I
man.
thought it was way more than
Yeah,
that.
it's a little bit less than that.
Oh,
I
it
think-
was more before. I thought.
They think there's 20 million people here. I don't think they're fucking counting.
Oh.
Did you ever get? Did anybody count you? Did you get counted?
Yeah.
Did you ever,
When are they
answer
doing
a
the counting?
census? They ain't counting anybody. Especially all the people that are here illegally. How many
Yeah.
people do you know that are here illegally?
I don't know too many people that are here illegally.
I used to know a lot of
I'm
people
so
that were Canadian. That
I'm just
were
so
illegal.
bougie now that
Oh,
I'm not even
bougie.
around people that.
Bougie.
Where would they be? We don't run in the
Cleaning
same
your
circles. Actually, the lady that cleans my house, she might be illegal.
What about the guy? Do you live in
Blanca. Her name's
an
Blanca.
apartment? Are
She's
you in an
great.
apartment or do you have a house?
No, I don't have a house yet. I'm saving. I'm weird about it.
Good move.
Because
It's good to be
I
weird.
always feel like this job I'm in now is the last job I'll ever have, and I'm gonna need my money.
Well, let me stop you right there. You're
how
a
I feel.
funny dude,
Well,
and
I just-
you're always going to do well.
But
You're always gonna do well.
I want to get the house I want. I want to get the house I want to die in.
Do you have a podcast?
No, I don't.
Oh, time to get a podcast.
That's the next thing. I'm working on it.
You're good at this.
Yeah,
You'd be perfect at it.
I know. I'm gonna. We'll be competing, right?
No. See, I have everybody on my podcast,
I know.
man. People that supposedly competing, but I want them to do well. I think there's enough out there for everybody. I really do. I think that
this is about people's own personal time anyway. When they watch you, they listen to your podcast and then they listen to the next one. It's not like it's not live anymore. Nothing's live anymore.
That's true.
No,
That's a good
I
thing.
don't even know when my favorite shows come on. I just put them in the queue and then I watch them. All my shows come on Sunday night. That's how I look at it.
Right.
Because that's when I watch TV.
Yeah, that's a unique thing, and most of the shit I watch these days is on Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's all streaming.
Yeah. Netflix, what a juggernaut they are.
God damn.
I don't think it's sustainable.
God damn.
It can't be sustainable.
Why is that?
Because
Doing so well.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If I drop $60 million, I'm Netflix. I drop $60 million to make a project.
Right.
And you watch it in 10 hours,
Okay.
then you're like, hey, what's next? I bet you, I guarantee you in a couple years, Netflix is going to stop this. The whole show comes out in one sitting. They're going to probably do it in chunks.
Why would they do that?
Because you anticipation.
You're fired.
What
If
it does
you're
to your
working
brain.
in the boardroom, as soon as you walked out of the
Come
door,
on.
I'd be like, fire him.
No, man.
Get rid of him. He's retarded.
They're
He
spending-
doesn't have any idea what he's talking about.
Anticipation psychologically feels just as good as actual achieving their thing. That anticipation you feel like waiting to see what happens next week.
Oh, you're on a Showtime show. I see what's going on.
This motherfucker right here.
I see what's going on. You're trying to justify being on a Showtime show. And you think it's a good thing that they come out on Sundays.
It is a good thing. It's a good thing. You can binge it at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's
See,
not
before
good. I like binging.
you can still binge.
Yeah, but this model obviously is uber successful. Like one of the most
Is
successful
it?
things ever.
Then why are they talking about they're losing money all the time?
What are you talking about?
But they had an article about. Look it up.
Do
Netflix
you know how much
losing
money Netflix made?
Yeah, they're saying that-
Netflix has
but they're-
hundreds of millions of subscribers.
I know, but they
that
put
each
out-
pay $10 a month. They make more money than anybody.
But they're also putting out money. If they're giving stand-up comics $20 million to make specials.
Not all stand-up comics.
Well, they put out 52 specials. Even if let's say they paid $100,000, which I know they didn't. They paid way more than that for each of them.
Right.
That's still a lot of money right there, man.
Yeah, I like how you didn't even bother counting it.
I didn't want to count it. What is that, like 50 million?
Fuck that up too. I'm the worst at doing simple math in my head. I'm like $500 times
Steve.
25 weeks is what is that? It's like 15. I don't know what the fuck that is. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, damn it. They made Stranger Things. Stranger Things is an expensive show.
Goddamn good show.
And then people watch it in 1 week, it's over.
Yeah.
But then you're saying as a Netflix person, hey, what's next?
yeah, but millions
I
of
need
people
more.
watch it in that week.
No,
and
I get
those
that.
people are justifying that
Are you-
$10 a month that they spend. That's why they have their content
I
is
know.
constantly coming in.
It has to keep coming.
Netflix is really close to surpassing Disney's valuation. Do you know how crazy that is? Netflix.
Yeah,
I
but
did
what's
a
the
Netflix
profits?
special, by the way, in 2005.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I
you
did.
won the OG originals.
I was OG, son.
Are you mad you didn't
Yeah.
get $20 million, though?
Yeah, well, I'm happy. But that's showing you that you're incorrect. Netflix is making shit tons of money.
No. Just because they're valuable doesn't mean that they're making a profit.
They're taking on debt, so they're playing it's business. So
But how much are they making?
It's just like
versus how much
Uber.
are they
It's just
spending?
like Uber. Uber's
say?
evaluation was.
I think they took on another $8 billion in debt. So
What does that mean though? When
Thank
they do that, but is it based on their earnings? Like, because aren't they making billions of dollars a year?
Yeah, they're making money and then they took on more debt. So they just reinvested it back into the company. Like they're
Right.
not really interested in turning a profit maybe for 2017. They're looking more into 2025. or
That's what I'm
2030 or
talking
something.
Is
about,
that true?
man.
Do you know what you're saying? Did you guess?
It's not
No, that's
sustainable.
just how they do
But
it.
hold on a second. But how much do they make? Let's find out instead of just guessing.
I just
Not that I'd give a fuck, but obviously Eric
Oh.
does because he's so invested in Showtime
Oh, this
and
guy.
this model of
What does Showtime do to you? See, this
I
is
like
like
Showtime.
that time I saw you.
my Netflix special that I did in 2005. We actually sold to Showtime once
See?
I got the rights to it. And then it
There you go.
went back to Netflix again.
Well,
It's one of them licensing deals.
Well, now my licensing deal is just gonna. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know. My first special I did with Rooftop, which was now owned by Amazon. So I think you can get the audio.
Well, that's good.
You can get the audio on. I think Amazon's going to buy Netflix. Watch.
Look what Showtime has done for fucking Sebastian.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's not a bad place
this
to be.
is not a bad place. I love
It's a great
Showtime.
place
I
to
mean,
be.
if Showtime wants to be in the Erik Griffin business, I'm all about it.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man.
You know,
Look,
so
Showtime's great. Don't get me wrong.
So my special comes out on Friday, but only 10 minutes at a time. So then next week.
You'd be in the middle of a bit. And this is what I think about Bill Cosby. Dun, dun, dun. Tune in next week.
Hey, that might be the new model, man.
AmERIKan Warrior, episode 2.
We got to come up with, dude. You got to come up with some kind of gimmicks. Like it's like there's so many specials out there.
Just keep swinging.
That's what I'm doing, man.
Don't-
Look, it's just me on stage. There's no skits in the front or the back end.
Good.
There's none of that shit. It's
Good.
just
Did anybody
announcement.
introduce you, or did you just walk on stage?
No, somebody introduced me.
New shit is just walking on stage.
Oh, and that's you now.
the
That's how
new
you doing
shit.
it.
That's how I do
It just turns on.
I just walk on stage.
Okay, that's gonna be the next one.
No introduction. I did introduction last time. I'm like, you know what? That's a waste of time. Just walk on
I
stage.
feel you, 'cause especially when you have to cut it down. I had to cut out 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's tricky, right?
9 minutes. People
Yeah.
don't understand how long 9 minutes is for comedy.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a long ass
How
time.
many-
So I was shooting babies, man.
How many did you film?
I did twice.
Twice as good.
Yeah. If I had to do it again, I would want to do it 4 times.
That's what I do.
And I would take the 2 second shows, be the one. You know?
Well, I did 4 last time in San Francisco, my last one, and
But
then
you
this
got
one in Boston, I did 4 too.
But you got 4 money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to pay more.
Yeah,
It
you
costs
got
me
you
more.
got that 4 money.
But you know what? For me, it was like
worth
I
it.
know you want to be loose,
Yeah.
and because of that, I was looser in the first show that I've
Oh.
ever been because I didn't just think I had 2 barrels.
I was tight as fuck in my
that's a
first show here, and,
problem,
and the crowd was. I was in Portland, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like these liberal, pretentious white people.
And you're talking about
and I'm
dangerous
talking about
shit.
all kind of. It was, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to own it when you talk about this stuff. You got to own it.
You do have to own it.
Unapologetic, all right. And that's
Yeah.
how you have to do it. So the second show was so loosey goosey, and you know, I think I captured something here.
Yeah, Portland's an interesting place because it's real liberal to the
Yeah.
point where they go so far left that they're like militant in a way.
Yeah.
But I had a great time there, man. I had a great time there last time I was there. I was there like 6 months ago. I fucking loved it.
Do you find it like out there? It's you know, in this Trump era, I find that comedy has been challenging.
It's definitely it's not just the
challenging.
Trump era. It's the era of outrage.
Yes. But
You know?
but what I'm saying is, I find that Trump people are angry winners. You know,
Ooh.
they're angry winners. Like, you won.
Yeah.
Your guy's in office.
They're gloaters.
And then like you say anything, and they're just like, "Fuck you,
Oh,
man."
if you say anything bad about
Oh,
Trump,
it's
and
crazy.
I have. They
know?
fucking come hard at you.
They come hard, and
But
I get it. That's your guy.
Right.
You know, if that's your guy, that's your guy. I get it.
Well,
But
he's
then
the king
liberals,
of the assholes.
But then
the
the-
assholes have never been represented before. For real.
Well, I don't know. I think there's been
No, for real.
quite a few
Not
assholes.
by a politician who's overtly
maybe.
assholish.
Yeah, he's definitely,
When has that ever happened?
Yeah, I know.
Never.
and he's in.
I'm a very stable genius.
Yeah.
Calls himself a stable genius. Dude, that tweet is dark, where he says, I have every right to pardon in all letters, in all capital letters, myself. I looked at that this morning, and I got sick to my stomach a
It's
little
just
bit.
a guy that doesn't know how to do the job. And it's not his fault that he was given the job. Like,
Well,
he was the best.
He went after it.
I know, but
What do you mean by it's not his-
I'm saying it's not his fault. He was the best candidate in the Republican Party. Like, they should be the ones that should be ashamed of themselves. I was watching the Trevor Noah show, and he was showing this clip of Trump at a rally. This is not, he's already won. And he's up there saying, you know, they told me to say drain the swamp.
Right.
I didn't like it. He's saying this. I didn't like that, but they said it would work. It would stay. Like, he even has contempt for the people that believed the bullshit that he was saying. He has contempt for them by just going like, you know, I said these things just to get elected. And it worked. And like these other people, they just were horrible candidates. Kevin Christie
yeah.
and so he was
Chris Christie.
I said Kevin Christie
Yeah.
because he was on my mind. The guy that drew my
The awesome artist.
the awesome artist. Yeah. So you know,
Kevin Christie's right now listening to this going, what the fuck
fuck
did I do to
yeah,
you,
what did I
Eric?
do? I know.
I drew that awesome
I didn't
cover
run for
you,
office.
Piece of shit.
I don't know. I just think
Ungrateful
that
motherfucker.
so why wouldn't he be an asshole? Why wouldn't he be like a sore winner? You know what I mean? He's a gloater.
I get it, but it's the age of outrage. And this is like what we're seeing from this Roseanne stuff. Like, dude, I've been called a racist more times over the last few days for defending Roseanne and saying that I know her, she's mentally ill, and that she's on all kinds of pills. I don't think she's a racist.
Listen, I'm going to say this too. I think that this is a just because you can doesn't mean you should situation. Can I tweet something inappropriate? Of course you can. Should you? When you have all of these things that you're responsible for.
Sure.
You're the lead of a show. You know, it's a show, a family show. You're on a family network. You have a lot of people's jobs that are depending on you. And I think there was just an error in judgment.
Oh, 100%.
Now, do I think that she's a racist? I think that if she had just called the woman just ugly and talked about her job, would this have been the same thing? But you add, you know, it's like if you call somebody a bitch, okay, there's a problem. People can have a problem with that. You call somebody a black bitch, then all of a sudden that changes it.
Oh, yeah.
If you call somebody a black monkey bitch, then you're like, okay, where is this coming from?
Well, a perfect example is Samantha Bee calling Ivanka Trump a feckless cunt, and she said it on TV. I mean, that was prepared. Like, someone wrote that out. It was a part of her monologue. She said it on television, and then they apologized. They're like, I shouldn't have said it. And TBS is like, we're good. But the advertisers are not good. They're pulling out left and right. But here's the thing with Roseanne. She's not well. This is a fact. Like, I know, I've talked to her. She's told me. I've talked to other people who know her. I talked to people who worked with her. She's mentally ill. But she talks openly about it.
But
She's
if you're not well,
hold on a second. She's on a host of medications. She's on antidepressants. She's on Ambien. She's drinking. She's smoking pot. She's 66 years old. She's not well. She smokes cigarettes. She's out of it. Like, she's got real mental issues. Now, here's the thing. If she had problems with her lungs and she was smoking cigarettes and coughing up blood and doing stupid shit like trying to run marathons, would people go, hey, you know, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, you think you can run a marathon? What are you fucking stupid? No, they wouldn't, because they would go, oh, she's got an illness. This is why she can't run. This is why she's coughing up blood. She's got a mental illness. She's mentally ill. This is a fact. That's why she's on so many different medications.
But does mental illness, if you were starting to get mentally ill, are you saying that saying sort of overtly racist things?
First of all, she didn't know that lady was black. Have you ever seen that woman? She does not look black. She thought that lady was Jewish. When she said Planet of the Apes, she said it because of her haircut, because she looks like that lady from the Planet of the Apes. She swears, and she sweared to me on the phone. This is her exact words. She goes, I would never fucking say that. You think I'm so stupid that I would call a black lady Planet of the Apes? She goes, I thought she was Jewish. She goes, look at her. She doesn't look black.
Oh, that makes it okay.
It doesn't, but she's Jewish too. I mean, that was the other thing. Someone said, well, look, she did this. She dressed up like Hitler and had Jew cookies, and she was baking them back in the day. But yeah, she's a shit stir. By the way, she's also Jewish. You know, I think she gets a free pass on doing that.
But I think that when you make a mistake, this is what's missing from our society now. She made a mistake. You should be allowed to apologize for that mistake. Right. Live with the shame, and then you move on. But what we're trying to do now is remove people from society altogether. Right. Like, I don't want to I'm not going to we're not going to excuse her behavior. We're not even going to say that there's a reason, even whatever the reason is, all the mental illness and all this kind of stuff, it's still a mistake what happened. She's well enough to work on a television show. So I'm saying she made this mistake, and I'm not with saying that she's a racist either. Because when I read that, I thought that I'm just saying, as a comic, we say things that the regular person is going to translate the math into well, this is because you don't like black people or women, or you don't like Jews, or you don't like, and that's not how we operate.
We're just trying to be funny.
We're just trying to be funny. And I think that she comes from an era where this is what you would say to be funny and biting. Yeah. And I think when she looked back on it, she went, oh, I didn't know this person was black. Now, the people out there listening, you can believe it or not. But at the same time,
the Susan Rice comment from a long time ago is way worse, because Susan Rice is clearly black, and she did a comment a long time ago. I think it was like 2013, where she said Susan Rice is a man with giant swinging ape balls. That's what she said. Now that is way worse. That's way worse. And that is a woman who's clearly black. I mean, you look at Susan Rice, she's not racially ambiguous at all. This other woman, Valerie, I don't know her name, Jarrett, she's got straight hair, she's got light complexion, she's
it's all about intent, though, is what you're talking about right now.
Right, but well, her intent was to be funny. She is obviously not doing, but first of all, she was drunk and on Ambien, and Ambien is Hamilton Morris sent me an email about this. He was explaining it to me, and then I talked to a sleep therapist about it. There's a type of drug that Ambien is that's called a hypnotic, and this is one of the reasons why Ambien has so many weird side effects associated with it. My friend Kevin James got up in the middle of the night, cooked a meal, went to bed, got up in the morning, and he had his wife confronted him did you do that? He's like, I didn't fucking do that. And she's like, no, the food's in the trash. You cooked it, you ate it. He's like, I did not eat that. And she's like, okay, if you didn't do it, who did? And he had to come to grips with the fact that he was on Ambien. He got up, cooked a meal for himself, had no recollection of it, went back to sleep. My mom was on Ambien. She got up in the middle of the night and drew on the shag carpet. She had a white shag carpet in her bathroom with lipstick and with nail polish, like a little kid. She goes, I don't remember doing it at all. She says, it's scary shit. I know a bunch of people that have had weird experiences on that stuff.
But if you staying in somebody's house and you were on Ambien and you messed up their shag carpet,
you'd apologize.
You have to apologize for it.
But this is what I'm saying
and
with her.
And then maybe say, don't take Ambien.
She's also drunk, on antidepressants, which you're not supposed to be. And then she's smoking pot, which I'm sure you're probably not supposed to do either when you're on those things. And she's an older lady who just got off of an exhausting schedule that in her words, almost killed her. She had bronchitis when she was filming. I'm saying she's not doing well. So she made a fucked up mistake and she apologized, but everybody wants to bury her, man.
Right. And I'm not with that. I'll tell you with you. It's you can't, but that's the society that we live in right now. That's just jump to outrage right now.
But why, not just outrage, but we want to end your career.
Yeah.
Why do we want to end someone's career for fucking up? It's one thing. Here's the thing. If she was not mentally ill, there was nothing wrong with her. Say if someone from, let's just pick a sitcom.
Big Bang Theory. Let's say the guy from...
Is that on Stevie still? What's on TV right now?
Stevie?
Stevie?
Is that a different type of TV?
Yeah.
It's on CBS.
TV.
Or just... Yeah.
What's a new one that's on TV? What's a new one? Let's say... All right.
Neither one of these guys watch TV.
They don't have any anymore. They don't even have any anymore.
It's Big Bang Theory still on.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right, Big Bang Theory. If is a pretty blonde girl in the Big Bang Theory, I don't know her name. What if that girl gets on TV and she gets on Twitter and she says something totally racist, throws some N-bombs, and there's nothing wrong with her. She's like, this is just how I feel. And then they come after and they go, well, fuck this bitch. She shouldn't be on television. She's racist. She doesn't represent how America views people in 2018. She's archaic. Get her off the fucking air. This is you can't get away with this anymore. This is the 1920s. This is 2018. That would be acceptable. I understand that. If you found a real hateful person, she secretly has a swastika tattoo somewhere, and she's an evil person. This is not the case with Roseanne. It's just not the case. She's an older lady who's mentally disturbed and on a fucking host of competing medications for her consciousness.
Well, that should be the reason why
she needs help, man.
Yeah, we got to get her some help.
But it's a crazy thing. It's she was America's sweetheart just a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
And now fucking
that's how quickly
everybody hates her.
That's how quickly.
And people are calling me a racist for saying what I said right there.
This is not an unusual thing in our society. This very much reminds me of the Salem witch hunt. This is the same kind of thing.
A little bit, right?
It's like the Scarlet Letter. How old is the Scarlet Letter? And we're still doing that now.
McCarthyism.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
This is something that we're prone to it.
Do you think it's because people are scared that they're going to get called out on it themselves? So when they see someone who's doing something wrong, they go after them, attack them with everything they have to divert any sort of... Because people are scared that people are going to turn on them, especially in this day and age when people turn on people for... the Garrison Keillor story?
Mm-mm.
He's the saddest story in this Me Too stuff. Because Garrison Keillor is a guy who had the Lake Wobegon Chronicles, is this PBS show, this radio show, is ongoing for decades, and he's a writer, and he hugged a woman. He was consoling her. He hugged her, and apparently while he was hugging her, his arm went down on her back. And he apologized. She pulled away. He apologized. He sent her a letter. He apologized. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that." She says, no worries. Don't worry about it. Years later, when all this Me Too frenzy, she brings this up. He gets fired. They pull his name off the show for touching a girl's back. It's like the frenzy was so hot. They didn't want to be accused of not doing anything, so they pulled this guy.
I know.
And there's the worst side of it, right? There's the Harvey Weinsteins of the world. There's the people that are absolutely monsters, right? There's those people. But then there's people that just got caught up in the wave of outrage. And it's a strange time. Like there's no balance to it.
Well, the pendulum is going to swing until our attitudes balance out. I mean, the Me Too movement is not a bad thing because it's bringing up some serious issues that we've had in our society.
Good thing.
It's a great thing to happen. So,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, there's going to be collateral damage for that until we now get back to a time where we can, like, men will act like gentlemen, and we'll be able to have interpersonal relationships with women at work and in a setting and make it professional. But at the same time, we also don't want a sterile environment. When you go to these like seminars, because like even for our show now, because of all this, you have to have like a sexual harassment meeting before you start.
Well, they had those in the 90s.
Exactly.
Man. I went to those for Hardball, show that I was on in 94.
But one of the things they always say, because you can't define this,
right?
You know it when you see it.
Well, that's what they used to say about pornography.
But that's what we've lost, that ability to understand that. Like, I think that applies
but legally, that's not a good definition. It's a problem.
I know, but that is the definition.
Right.
It's the same thing that goes with oversensitivity. I think that too.
Right.
We should know it when we see it. And we're not recognizing that. It's like, you're acting, this is a bit much right now sometimes.
Did you hear about the 2 college kids that got drunk and had sex, and the boy, upon waking up and sobering up, decided to preemptively accuse the girl of sexual assault because he was intoxicated? So he filed and went after her. She got suspended from school. They had to do it because otherwise, they would be sexist, because they do it all the time if it's a boy and a girl. It's always thought that if a boy, like, do you know the Occidental College story?
Mm-mm.
It's a pretty famous story from a few years back where these 2 kids, they were in college. The guy texts the girl, I'm coming over. She's like, "Do you have condoms?" He says, "Yes." So clearly intent has been established, right? Goes over, has sex with her. Her friends convince her because she was intoxicated that it was sex under the influence, so it was rape. And so she goes to the university officials, and they suspend the boy. He sues and wins, and the whole thing's chaos because this kid gets kicked out of fucking school. And actually, did he win? I need to know that if he won.
Let's check.
I think he
fact
did.
Check.
Yeah, let's fact check that. Occidental.
But now you got to have now to even interact with them, when you have to have a notary.
Well, that's what they're saying. Is that people
video. I consent to.
So here's where it gets even screwier. There was a real article the other day that was saying, is it physically possible for 2 people to simultaneously sexual assault each other? And they're debating this in a college because they're trying to figure out if 2 people are both drunk and like they get together and they're both sloppy and fucking hammered and they decide to have sex, do they both sexually assault each other?
Isn't this really about choices that we make?
Well, it's also about taking responsibility for your actions if you're an adult. If you decide to get in your car and you're drunk and you plow into a bus and kill a bunch of people, no one says, "Oh, Eric was just drunk. He is not responsible for his actions." You're responsible for your actions if you're drunk, if you're driving a car and you kill somebody. But the idea is that if a girl comes over your house and you're drunk and, you're not responsible for your actions then, or especially if you're a girl and you're drunk, you're not responsible for your actions then. If you're having sex with a guy, but you're definitely responsible for your actions if you're a girl and you get in a car and drive and hit someone and kill them.
But at the same time, though, like a girl or anyone should be allowed to be with her friends or with his friends, and you get sloppy drunk.
And you're protected. People take care of you.
You should be. It's not okay that somebody decided to like go further with it.
Well,
Well,
the most egregious case is obviously Cosby, because that was his thing. I mean, if he did do what everybody's accusing him of doing, and we have no reason to think he didn't, he was taking people that thought of him as a mentor and thought that he was going to help their career, and that was his hustle, and he would just drug them, and they'd wake up with their pussy sore and their fucking pants off and not knowing what happened and be super confused. It's horrible. I mean, that's the worst version
That's the worst
of it,
version
right?
of it. And then, but then it's like, this is one of those things where I'm saying it's like that it's hard to define. There's no like real definition.
Right.
You can't put it down in writing to say like this is what this is, because then you got a situation where you're out on a date with someone, things are going well, you think it's going well, you get into bed, and then that person for whatever reason decides, I think we should stop. I don't want to do this anymore, and that could be on the same level as drugging somebody.
The Aziz Ansari case.
Or clubbing them on the head.
That girl writes that crazy fucking story, the 5,000 word story.
That Aziz Ansari thing is just about him not being a gentleman.
Right.
That's all that was.
Not just that, but she was just grossed out by it and decided to go after him.
But I can understand being in a situation like people got on the woman because they were like, well, hey, you still blew him 3 times, right?
Yeah.
But I understand that being in a situation where you're like, because this happened to me. All right, I was at a comedy club. I told this girl, this is years ago. I told this guy, I said, she was like, I'm coming back to your hotel. Like, I said, no, I don't think you should. I didn't want to. I wasn't.
She forced herself on you?
It wasn't. I mean, just let me explain.
Imagine if you were a girl. That's where it gets really scary.
But first of all, everything she's saying to me this whole night up to getting to my hotel, if I would have done that to a woman, it's assault, abuse, like threatening from the jump.
So you ever heard Ali Wong talk about this?
I mean, no, but this is what happened. So I say to her, I was like, I wasn't really into her at the time. I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I think you should go home, And then she's like, no, I'll walk you to your hotel. Because we were hanging out, everybody's hanging out at this place after the Sunday night show, I said, okay. We get to the hotel. I go, well, thanks for walking me, but I think you should probably, no.
I'm going to clean your dick with my mouth.
Yeah, I was like, that's, it's like, I'll give you a massage. It was all this kind of stuff.
Whoa.
I'm like, I think you should go. I'm not really, and then my ego kicks in because I'm like, well, all right, you like me like this, okay. So we get up, we finally get upstairs. I still am like, maybe we shouldn't do this, And then she starts to like, it's because you're not into me. It's because I'm hideous or whatever. So now I felt like, I have to fuck her. I felt like I gotta do this. No. It's like I had to do this because I don't want to come across like I'm, what I'm saying about the reason how I apply this to the Z situation is the fact that this girl is in a situation where she feels like, I guess I have to do this. Like, I may not want to do it.
No, we're speculating.
I'm just saying, I've been in a situation where I didn't necessarily want to do it, but I felt like the social pressure of like, well, may I have to follow through with what I'm doing now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, that's definitely probably.
And then in the morning, I had to fly. When we're not even in the morning, I said, we're finished. And I said, hey, you got to go because I got to pack. And she started to cry.
Oh, boy.
And I thought if this was happening now, this could be a situation. It could easily be she could tell her story differently. So we don't know. That's why there's no rules. What this lady did was she was aggressive and flirting, and she wanted what she wanted, and she got it. So that sometimes is okay, depending on the person that you're dealing with. But that same situation with someone else could be, no, this was horrible.
Right.
I felt intimidated. I felt, it's all in how you interpret it.
Yeah, it's definitely, it depends on who's talking and whether or not you're attracted to. Like, here's a perfect example. If you and your girlfriend decided to get drunk, and your girlfriend was drunk, and she called you up and said, "Come on over. I'm horny. I want you to fuck me." If you went over and did it, you would, in some people's eyes, be guilty of sexual assault because she was drunk and she couldn't consent.
And this is why I'd never done that, by the way. One of my ex-girlfriends was like that. She wanted to get drunk.
Really?
She was like, I just want to have sex when I'm drunk. I just couldn't do it. I
didn't because you were nervous about it?
It wasn't, but it was just me personally. I don't drink.
Oh, you don't drink at all?
I don't drink at all. So I always felt like if I'm not drinking, it just feels like, what if she says she wants to do something that like she doesn't normally want to do?
Right.
And then she's going to get sober and be like, why did you do that to my butthole or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, why? And you're like, what? But you said, she goes, because it'll always come back to, well, I was drunk.
Right.
And I didn't really mean, then I'm like, okay, I don't want to be the choice maker in that situation.
That's the best thing about not drinking, right? In that situation, if you don't drink, you never have to think like that.
But that's why sometimes I don't want to
with.
hang out. That's why sometimes I don't want to hang out with people that are like, that get dumb drunk. You're out, and then I become responsible.
Oh well, it's the worst when you're sober.
Yeah, it's
right?
like, whoa, I don't want to deal with this
because their behavior is so fucking gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
Then you see your friend, especially if you have like a female friend. You're not like that with them.
Right.
But then you're out. And then she's, her skirt's
Eric.
coming up, and you see the creepy guy. You see the guy that she's like, I'm gonna go with this. And you're like, oh man, what do I do right now? Like, if I don't stop her from going, and then something happens that she doesn't want to happen, is it my fault?
What if you do stop her, and she's like, you're a fucking hater.
Right.
I love him.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was so cute. And we were gonna have an amazing time. And you fucking hater.
All this Harvey Weinstein and all this kind of shit, it set ugly dudes back like 20 years. All my advances that I've made with hot chicks has just been like, I'm so glad I have a girlfriend during this time.
But you're not in a position of power. Here's the thing. It's not about ugly. It's about Harvey Weinstein being in control of a studio.
Exactly.
And scaring all those girls into fucking them and allegedly raping some of them. I don't know what he did or didn't do, but he definitely did a lot of shit.
I just wish that a lot of these people, maybe now people will have the courage to like, come out because it sucks to hear about this happened to Angelina Jolie and then there was a certain time when she was like the most famous woman in Hollywood
and she didn't say
anything.
Still didn't
say anything.
Yeah.
So it sucks that we live in a
blackballed.
I know it sucks that we live in a culture that's why some innocent people are getting caught in the crossfire, so we can obliterate this sort of behavior and attitude from our culture. But in the meantime, while we're going through this, there's going to be some keelers and there's going to be some people that are going to get caught in the crossfire.
Did you ever drink?
No.
Never.
No. I never wanted to. When I was in high school, I had friends would drink and stuff, and I didn't like the taste. I would taste. I had half a beer at a party one time, and I was like, "What? This is disgusting." And then it was. What really decided it for me? It was like the 1999, 2000 New Year's, like going into Y2K. Going into that, I was at a party that I was like, I never want to be like this.
People were hammered.
That
was a weird one, right? Everybody was super drunk on Y2K.
They thought it was the end.
Of the world. The power was going to shut off forever.
I was taking care of somebody's baby.
What?
Yeah. Because that's what they at this party. I had a baby.
Who the fuck gave you a baby?
No, I was taking care because they were drunk. Everybody.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was at a party.
They got drunk and left you with their baby?
I had the baby.
Come on.
Yeah, it was a crazy party.
Who the fuck are these people with a baby?
And I stopped, and the husband,
that poor kid is 18 years old now, confused as fuck. Erik Griffin was babysitting.
Yeah, I was babysitting a baby. I'm taking care of people. So you hear these stories about people die because they're choking on their own vomit. Yeah. So there's people that are like passed out like this. Right. So I got to turn people to their side. And
Jesus.
And I said, I never want to be like this.
You were turning people holding a baby?
And holding a baby. It was the worst. It was a shithole party, man. And
you got invited.
I got invited. I went. These were some of my friends. I was the wolf in this shit, dude. I was the wolf. So if you're having a party and you think it's gonna get crazy, you call Erik Griffin and I'm gonna come. My God. I'm the wolf.
That's the craziest party I've ever heard of.
So after that, I knew I didn't want to. So I went with a buddy of mine on vacation, and when we went, that deal was he was like, "Come on, man, you gotta have some drinks." So I had like a banana daiquiri on a and I was like, "This is okay." And then I had. When you go to you're on a resort vacation, there'll always be like a special at the bar. Like, hey, have today's drink. I said, I'll try it. I had like 15% of that thing, and I was
loopy.
Yeah, I was ready to, tweet racist shit. So I was like, nah.
What about weed?
No weed either.
Never. My
current girlfriend, she loves weed. Ooh. So I tried one time.
Yeah, did you get nervous?
I was like, I don't like this. I was like, I can't be like this. So that's why
vulnerable.
If I didn't have comedy,
what would you do?
I'd be a crazy person.
Well, you're a crazy person now. You're just calming it down with comedy. But you're a good crazy person. You're a very nice guy.
I legit need comedy. This sounds like one of those cliche type of things, but I rely on it. I go to therapy. I go to therapy, and it's been great for me. You know, it's really been great. I love going to therapy. Because I feel like I can talk to somebody and then intellectualize things on a level that like you can't necessarily do with regular people. And I'm not judged.
Someone who understands human nature.
Yes.
And they can go over all why you did this or what was the insecurity that triggered that.
Boom. And it applied. And I'm learning things about myself. I'm learning things about like I was the only child, you know, single mom. So there's all these things I've learning about like why I interact with, you know, my girlfriend the way I do because of my mom and like, you know, my friendships and why I get angry about certain things. It applies to things on stage. Yeah. Like, you know, so I'm really why I have so many of these types of relationships in my life where people are like, you know, needy.
Right.
You know, like I find myself being like the one that's trying to help. I don't have a lot of equal relationships. I learned all these things.
You probably felt vulnerable as a kid. And when you see vulnerable people, you want to help them because you can relate.
And my mom, too. My mom went through a lot to get to the States. You know, she was from, you know, Belize, you know, in Central America. And, like, just coming here and hearing her stories and, like, you know, having to, like, be somebody to take. I was 15 years old having to take care of my mom. Like, you know, her emotions were, like, and so then that had an effect on me, you know. But I didn't learn this until I was able to go talk to a professional.
Are you close with your dad?
I had never met my dad, you know, single parent. You never met my dad. So thanks for bringing that up.
I don't know mine either. Mine's name is Joe Rogan.
Shit, he's out there someplace.
He's out there.
Yeah, I've never met my dad. And then I thought did you ever want to meet your dad? Did you ever? See, you know what's funny? My mom.
I met him. I knew him until I was like 6.
Oh, that's worse. I never knew. So I think that's if you know them a little bit and then they're gone, that sucks.
The good thing is it made me realize that you can't count on people, but you can count on
trust
some people.
issues,
but
man.
I definitely had
that's
trust issues for a long
right
time,
there.
But become someone that people count on and count on people.
That's what you do.
I have a tight group of friends. Yeah. Like me and my friends are very close.
I get it.
I would do anything for my friends, and family too.
See, I have there's a certain level of loyalty that I have because of that
because of that, yeah. Well, you understand it. Whereas someone who grows up in a big household filled with people and the family was always there and everybody was there, you might take people for granted a little bit, you know. Whereas for me, camaraderie and closeness and all that shit means a lot to me. It's very, very important.
I remember asking my mom about my dad when I was like, I don't know, 17, 18. You know, and she got really offended. You know, she was like, "I raised you," and you know, and that made me think. Like, I was like, "But women have their secrets. Like, they have their things." And I didn't want her to. I don't begrudge her.
Pry.
I didn't want to pry, and I didn't want to find out. Like, maybe he wanted to be in my life, but my mom was like, "No, who knows?" You know, she could have been vindictive like that, but I don't know. But I didn't hold it against her. But she told me his name, and she was like, "If you want to do this on your own, you know, that kind of thing." Mm-hmm. And I had the name for like a week. And then I forgot it. And that told me that it didn't matter. So ever since, I never worried about it.
Good for you. Yeah,
there's some people that it bothers them for their whole life.
Tell you one thing will happen, though. When you have kids, your bond with your kids, it's like I would assume that everyone's bond with their children is very tight because it's an unbelievable love connection that you have with children. It's
like true unconditional love.
It's not just true unconditional. It's like they're a drug. Like they give you love to the point where, like, my daughter, my youngest, we were playing the other day in the pool, and there was a point in time we were just laughing about something together, just laughing, and I'm looking at her face and she's laughing, and I felt like I was on drugs. I was like, the love that I have for these people is so intense. And it's also, I didn't get that when I was a kid. I didn't
know exactly what you're saying, man.
My parents, my mom worked. My stepdad was a really good guy, but no one was ever around. You know, there was no, and when they were done working, everybody was tired. You know, I was a latchkey kid, you know. When I was like 7 years old, I lived in San Francisco. I would go out and do a magic show on Fisherman's Wharf by myself. Just wander around the city. They would open the door, you just leave. 7. I can't imagine that.
I spent a lot of time by myself too because my mom was working and like she was by herself, trying to make it, to make sure that I had a good life. So I was just by myself, you know.
Eric, if you have kids with this young lady or another young lady, your connection with that kid it'll blow your fucking mind. It'll change who you are.
I feel like that's what I've been lacking. That's why I've been more open to, you know, thinking about these kinds of things.
You seem like a dad.
Yeah. Well, because
I'm picturing you a dad right now.
But my whole life, I've been like, I've been that role for so many people in my life.
Right. You were holding a baby and turning over drunks.
Man. I've been taking care of
over
people
like pancakes.
I've been taking care of people my whole life, man. It's crazy. So that's why I always feel like, I've already had one of my best friends in the world is like someone that's like I've had to take care of. He's had a little drinking problem, and but I've been there the whole time, and even though people would be like, you have to like, that people that think that you have to let them hit rock bottom, but I'm just not like that.
Yeah, I've been through that too. I had a very good friend of mine. It's my best friend who died of heroin, and he was always fucked up. There was always something. He had a crack problem for a while, and then he got on pills, and he was either snorting it or it was like Artie Lang very much reminds me of this guy, and Joey Diaz did a little bit too. When I first met Joey, it was like right after my friend Johnny. Well, it was right before Johnny had died. Johnny was still alive, but I had known people like Joey because of my friend Johnny. But it's just, I always was there for him. I was always trying to take care of him. I was always trying to help him, but it was just, there was always something going wrong, and it never, but there was these brief moments, man, where he'd be fine and we'd be laughing and we'd have the best time.
And that's why you fight for it. It's those times.
Because I was always thinking that one day he was going to get it together.
I had the same thing with my friend. It's like, it's still going on with me right now. It's like, when you deal with someone that deals with depression, real depression, lost his mother, and and how that affected his whole life. And it's like, so I'm there, and he's younger than me, so I feel this mentorship, and I just feel like a loyalty that I just can't shake.
Right.
So so that's that. And I know when I go to therapy, I want to ask, why am I this way?
Right.
And then I realize that comedy has been dampering my own depressions or my own feelings, because I feel like I'm dealing with it in some way. So sometimes I go and talk about things, and I talk about things in a way I just no holds bar, because I want to get this out.
Right.
Hey, I feel like this, or if I don't like something, and then combine that with, we live in a society right now where people don't want to necessarily hear an opinion that is not theirs.
Well, there's definitely a little of that, right?
And so then therefore we get this, like, it becomes, it's tougher and tougher to do what we do, but it's not going to stop me from doing it.
But it's sweeter and sweeter when you pull it off. Especially if you pull off some controversial shit.
Yeah,
you just got to navigate the waters a little bit.
That's exactly
carefully.
what I feel like I've been doing, and I think I did it with this special. I think I tried to talk about things in a way where I was like, okay, you may not agree, but you don't have to vilify me.
Right,
you don't have to like But anyway, it all goes back to like like who we are as people because of like our parents.
Right.
And it's like I love my mom. I love my stepdad. Stepdad's a great guy. I'm glad he's in my mom's life. They're off in Spain right now. They moved to Spain like a year and a half ago, and so they're there, and I'm happy that she's happy in the later part of her life.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Look, man, at the end of the day, it should be just about enjoying this experience, just having time with people you care about and enjoying it. And it's hard to figure out we're very, very fortunate in a lot of ways, but one of the big ones is that you and I found comedy. And
yes.
Can you imagine? Don't you look at other people sometimes and go, how the fuck they live without telling jokes?
Dude.
How do they live without killing?
Dude. When I see some bullshit happen on TV, I go, that guy needs to go do an open mic set. You need to go get that out, man. Go get that out.
Well, that feeling that you get like Friday night in the OR, you just smash, and you get off stage, you're like, tell me there's a better feeling out there.
Because whatever I was feeling, it all goes away.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like, I do think though that sometimes we're like putting a damper on it, and it doesn't necessarily go away, but we found another outlet to get it out.
Well, you just got a little happy pill.
It's intoxicating, man.
You're taking a little happy pill.
Yeah.
But there's happiness and all sorts of things that you enjoy doing. I try to fill my life up with activities that I enjoy doing. But family's a big one too, man. Family is it's a different thing, man. It changes you. And I have all daughters. And so my house is it's so feminine. Everything's female. I talked about it on my special about, the Bruce Jenner thing, about, like that my last special, the one before this one. that it's just that if you live with crazy bitches long enough, eventually you become one.
Yeah.
But it's like I am becoming like more
You're
in touch.
You're with the more feminine version of yourself.
Oh my God, I'm so much more feminine than I've ever been, ever. So much more in tune with how girls think, so much more tolerant of like nonsense talk. Because like when your kids are talking nonsense talk, it's just different. But it's just like you realize, like if I'm around like women when they're talking together and I'm an observer and I watch them, they just talk about different shit, man. I mean, and then when you,
as we've just talked about different shit for like 2 hours.
Yeah, but if you like try to interject and go, hey, did you guys see that bare knuckle boxing fight?
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. Like, ugh, let's get away from this idiot.
Yeah.
Like for them, what you're interested in is stupid. And for them, you know, they want to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about that they're into at the moment, whether it's shoes or the royal wedding or whatever the fuck it is.
Relationships have been in a relationship for this long now has taught me patience.
Patience.
It's taught me patience.
Yeah.
It's taught me like, you know, that to accept the double standard, that things aren't supposed to necessarily be equal, that they're supposed to be like, I always think that it's like one of those scales, you know, and you put stuff in the scale on this side and she puts different things, but that's how you balance out. But they don't have to be the same thing, you know? People don't give love in the same way.
Right.
So you shouldn't expect it to be the way you give it. But that becomes a problem. You know, that becomes a problem. I had a girlfriend once that she didn't express love in a way that was like hugging, and she didn't want to do it that way.
She wasn't affectionate?
She wasn't affectionate. She like, she'd buy me a TV or something, you know?
That's so weird.
And I understood though, because it was because her family wasn't like that.
Her family wasn't huggy.
They weren't a huggy people, but I was.
Don't you feel sad for people like that aren't
Yes,
huggy?
I do.
I do.
Because we need human interaction. We need the connection. We need to, you know, we need to feel. You know, we need to feel that, and then we also need smiles. We need smiles from people. I always tell my girlfriend, like, you know, you're the most beautiful when you're just like happy and smiling. Because the moment she isn't, it's like, what did I do? You know,
that's half of a relationship.
I know.
Is wondering what you did.
What the
and
fuck
wondering
did I do?
if she's mad. Is she mad?
No,
What did I do?
how about this? I know she's mad. What did I do?
Or
what did she think I did?
Preemptive.
Yes.
Like if I do that, will she get mad?
Oh my God!
How do I know?
It's like a. It's like a Da Vinci Code, man. We're just trying to figure out, and that's what I'm learning with her. But
I remember I was with a girl that I was dating at the time. I was in my 20s. I was very young at the time, and I was with a couple of my buddies, and we were talking, and this guy was bringing up that this guy was having some crazy problem with his girlfriend. And I said, oh, yeah. I go, she's crazy. And here's the problem. He don't want to get rid of her because she's fucking hot. Yeah. And I go, she's like, what was that girl from Real Housewives? Not Real Housewives, Desperate Housewives. Terry Hatcher. Terry Hatcher. This was back, like she was in one of those fucking movies, one of those summer movies way back in the day. You know, Terry Hatcher's a few years older than me. So this was like, well, I'm talking this conversation took place in the 90s. So I think the way I described it then, I said like a young Terry Hatcher. And this girl got so mad at me. She got so mad at me that I used Terry Hatcher, a young Terry Hatcher, to describe beauty. And I remember sitting there going, what?
Yeah.
What did I just, you're such an asshole. And I'm like, what did I do? I was talking about this guy's got a girlfriend who's hot. She's hot like a young Terry Hatcher. There she is.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
are you
she
kidding
was
me?
Stupid hot, like confusing hot. But she was in like some movie where I forget what the fuck the premise of the movie was, but there was a guy in the movie that couldn't deal with the fact that she was so hot. He was confused. Anyway, my point is, I didn't get it. I was like, what did I do wrong?
Of course.
She was mad that I didn't use her as an example of someone really hot.
Oh, God. Sometimes
she was mad.
No, you know what? Sometimes I know now. See, here's a problem as comics. Like, we're like, you know, we like to think in logical ways, but we also like to analyze things. Yeah. So, like, you know, she asked, like, oh, if I feel ugly, you have to be like, you have to know at that moment, oh, is she fishing for me to say compliment, yeah. or if she just woke up, and sometimes you have to just be like, oh, you look so great today.
I think you got to preemptively just throw those in there. Just fucking decorate the plate with.
Yeah, and here's the thing,
parsley.
and you know what's weird? She knows you don't believe it at this particular time.
You don't think she's beautiful?
No.
Don't say
I'm
it
not
on the air.
saying.
You fucked up,
No,
dude.
I'm saying
She's gonna know now. I heard you on the podcast.
No,
with Joe
I'm talking
Rogan.
about-
Don't fucking bullshit me.
I think they know when they just need it, and they know you know. They want you to know that they just need this right now, whether you want to or not. They just know they know that, and then that's what they're really connected to. Oh, he's doing what he's doing that thing
For me. Right.
That's all that it is. Do this for me.
And some girls don't need that shit at all. Some girls just don't need it. They're like, hey,
They
save
need
that
something
stupid
else.
shit.
Those are the ones that need something
They
else.
need some dick. Those girls are like, you save that. You save that and get that dick ready.
Yeah, it's been dating a girl in her 20s is that's why I had to start doing boxing because
But do you think you would be
I'm not
into-
15,
Right.
So
You
it's
gotta
like
get fit.
Yeah, I gotta I'm like I got the things I have to do. I have to like work magic. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, man, because in a few years, I mean, that's the thing is like there's a definite deterioration of your physical being as you get into your 40s.
Yeah.
If you don't keep up.
I
the
gotta
thing
keep
is,
up.
though, if you keep
I know
up,
I'm not. Look at me.
If you
I'm
keep
a comfortable,
it up,
fun, cuddly guy, but I gotta get there. It's so. It's in my problem. I put on weights. I walk by a donut shop and I'll gain like 2 pounds.
what do you eat?
I just ate horrible.
You eat horrible.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, so your diet's not good.
Not diet. I got to get that dieting gear.
Well,
But I
why don't
don't
you-
mind. I don't mind eating well though. No, my problem is this: if it's in front of my plate, if it's on my plate, I'll eat it. So I have to cut down on what's on my plate.
Well, when I met you, you were thinner.
Yeah, but my weight has always fluctuated. You know why? I remember this. I'll never forget this. We both, our good friend Ari Shafir, I'm in the hallway at the Comedy Store. I just got back from the Middle East. So I was eating like a fucking Arab prince over there. Just a fat fuck when I came back. I'm in mid-conversation with Ari. And in the conversation, he leans over and he grabs my cheek. I'm talking
sounds
about
like Ari.
he grabs my cheek and he goes like this. He squeezes it and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" Let me tell you something. I went to the gym the next day and I signed up with a personal trainer. Like that next day, because the way he did it, I was like, oh shit. It was like I forgot. So I had to just get back to it. I just been comfortable.
Well, he's a comic.
Yeah.
You know, he saw vulnerability. He
Oh
had an
yeah.
attack.
And he attacked it like the devil that he is.
Yeah, just hire a trainer. But the thing is, man, just
I'm doing the boxing, man. I just started the boxing.
you can get someone to do like meal plans for you.
I know. That's the next
there's
thing.
a bunch of those companies that'll make you healthy
Just
meals.
send.
You keep them in the fridge.
But see, I want to just do it. I know I can because I've done it before.
On your own?
Yeah, I did. I was vegan for a year. You know, because I did it. Oh my God, I was crazy. But you know what messed me up is I did at the end of the year. I did that master cleanse.
What's a master cleanse?
Remember the master cleanse with cayenne pepper and and the maple syrup and that's all you ate for a week.
Okay.
Okay, that shit. I did it for. You're supposed to do it for 10 days. I got to day 5. Then the 2 days of you had to let your body get used to like having salad and soup, and then I had a fat burger.
Ooh.
Like I was back. I went from not eating meat from a year. But you know what I learned from being vegan for a year is that the meat is not necessarily the main course. It's just a side dish with everything else. So if you have a good thing of broccoli, a good thing of corn, a good thing of mushrooms, and then you have a good thing of steak, you don't have to have the steak and then you can have some great side dishes.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of people that eat carnivore diet now. There's a lot of people that are eating just meat. Very interesting.
I think it's
Losing
all about
a lot of
Isn't
weight.
it all about moderation, man?
I don't know.
You don't
Here's the
even
thing,
know?
It's
What do you
different for
do?
different people.
But you work out. You're a workout guy. You got
I work out a lot.
freaking. You got monkey bars out there.
I try to
you know what
work.
I mean?
I've been working out twice a day.
Well, there you go.
My main thing is one hard workout a day and one less hard workout a day.
Now, if you think if you didn't do that your you'd
I would
physically
diminish.
change.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would diminish for sure.
Yeah.
Because when I take time off, if I take time off, I notice diminishing.
But also, let's say a proper average health or even above average health is here. Maybe what you're doing brings you up here. So that diminishing you're talking about is just going to bring you to a more average, normal level, but still in great shape.
Yeah,
Maybe you're overdoing it. I'm just wondering.
I'm definitely
asking,
not overdoing it because I monitor everything. I'm making sure that my health is good and my body's in good shape. But I just know that if you don't use it, you lose it. There's just a fact to that. And when I say I work out twice a day, what it means is usually I'll do yoga during the day, and then at night I'll lift some weights. Or I'll run the hills, and then at night I'll lift some weights.
You're not doing a Navy SEAL workout twice a day.
No. One of the workouts is like pretty calm. The weightlifting workouts are almost always pretty calm, unless I'm doing like a cardio kettlebell workout or something intense.
At this gym, they have you could do the boxing, and then on other days you can come and you can do like weight training, active weights, and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start doing that one too.
I bet a big thing with you is just what you're eating.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
The animal cookies, the circus animal cookies I have in my kitchen right now.
Not good.
It's not good.
Not good.
But they come in these little packs.
I get it.
But I have a pack of 50.
Bro, I get it.
So every time I have one, I think, well, I'm only having.
I get it.
You know, so I love to eat.
I do too.
But the weight goes on me so fast, it's so annoying. That it just sits in my gut area.
Especially as you get older.
I'm shaped like an ostrich.
It's hard.
You know what I mean? I'm
It's
big in the middle,
harder.
little legs.
It's harder and harder as you get
I
older.
know. That's what's happening right now. I got to stop. Oh, God.
That's why you got to keep up. That's the whole thing.
I know, man. You got to maintain. Like I work on my comedy, I have to work on my physical at the same time.
You'll feel better.
I want to feel
You'll
better.
have way more energy. Cut out the sugar. Cut out the grains.
Here we go with the sugar.
That's it. Cut out sugar and grains, you lose 30 pounds.
Cut out everything that is delicious.
Just eat salads and fish. Eat healthy. Have some red meat. But in moderation.
Yeah.
Don't eat crazy.
I'm all about that.
Don't eat fries.
A lot of chicken.
Drink a lot of
fries.
Water. Drink a lot of water.
Okay.
Yeah, fries are bullshit.
Yeah.
It's mostly just potatoes and oil. You know? Like, what are you getting out of that, really?
When's the last time you had some fries?
The other day.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
you know what you get out of it. They're
bro.
delicious.
Yeah, but you just can't have it all the time.
I know. That's the
I
thing.
had some
Moderation.
pasta
That's
the
what
other
I'm
night.
saying. It's all moderation, man.
Saturday night, I ate at a nice Italian restaurant.
I had some pasta last
Some
night.
spaghetti with some fucking marinara sauce and some shrimp. It was delicious.
We just had the same meal. I had that last night.
Yeah,
Some
every now and then.
Duvalo, or however you say it. Diablo.
The devil. The devil's in the details.
Food.
Yeah, I like it. It tastes good, but I just don't allow myself to do it very often. Most of the time, I eat real clean.
Good for you. I'm trying to get there, buddy.
You could do it.
I know.
Don't get defensive.
No,
Jesus,
I'm saying I've done it.
I'm in your corner.
I'm not defending.
You're all angry.
I'm mad
you
at.
see how angry he is, Jamie?
I'm mad at me because I know I should be doing
You're ready
this.
to run out of here and go right to the gym. aren't you?
I'm not gonna leave the building. I'm
You
just
don't
gonna
have
go.
to. Just go right over there.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even have
wanna
to leave
work
the
out?
building.
There's plenty of equipment. We could work out side by side.
I know.
Come on, buddy.
I should have brought my stuff.
I got stuff for you.
Of course.
Oh,
This is me trying to get out of it already. You know what I mean? I didn't bring my Joe. I got my shoes. I didn't bring my orthopedics.
I think for comics, it's like it's important to alleviate a certain amount of angst. You want to go on stage with a certain amount where you're upset and you're like pissed off at shit, but you don't want to go upset on stage hating yourself.
Right.
You know.
It's the same thing. I don't like comics that go on stage drunk.
Right.
I don't like comics. They need this alcohol or people that think weed. Like, people that think weed, like, I'm not saying weed makes you lazy, but lazy people shouldn't smoke weed.
Right, I know what you're saying. Well, as a person who smokes weed, it really bothers me because I'm not lazy at all. And I hate that connection between lazy people and weed because I don't think that's what makes you lazy. I think you're just
I'm not
lazy.
saying I agree. That's why I'm saying I'm not saying it makes you lazy.
No.
But if you're already lazy and then you do this, it's not going to be a winning combination.
It's not just that; it just looks bad.
Yeah.
And you blame it on the weed.
Look at J.R. Smith. I think that was a weed situation.
Who's J.R. Smith?
From the oh, you don't even know. He don't even know. Cleveland
Look at
Look at
Cavaliers.
Jamie jumps in to press the microphone. I know that guy. I know that know what we're talking about.
That's at the game last
That's the
night.
game. How's
The game. Fucking Cleveland Cavaliers.
What's the problem?
He did something really stupid. It was like 3-4 seconds left. Their tie ball game.
Right.
One of their other guys is at the free throw line. He misses the free throw. J.R. Smith grabs the ball. Instead of putting it up to win the game, he dribbles out because he thought that they were up. And the look on his face was like that, kind of like, I've seen this high look before. I'm not saying he was on weed, but I've heard stories that he smokes a lot of weed. So, and I'm saying, like, those weed people out there, like, there's an example of it. There are brilliant people that smoke weed. There are successful.
Look at LeBron.
That's the look LeBron had on his face.
What the fuck, man?
What are you doing?
First of all, how jacked is LeBron? Look at those fucking shoulders.
6'9", 250, probably 6% body fat.
Look at the shoulders on that
33 years old too.
And he's getting better.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
His shoulders are fucking epic.
Yeah, man. There's another picture of him like straight on where he literally looks like an Avenger. Like he could be like some sort of like.
Keep him the fuck away from Jeff Nowitzki.
You know, look at that picture. Look at the picture of them right there. That one where J.R. Smith is smiling.
Yeah. Dude,
That's
he
a
is
weed look on his face.
Oh, yeah,
that's
he's
not
high as fuck. 100%. Oh, that's a high guy.
He just gets high, and I think
stoners understand other stoners.
I think that he got like he had a little brain slip.
I guarantee he did.
You know, when people are paying you $17 million,
or they paid him off to try to drag it into 7 games. That's what Jamie thinks.
Oh my
Look at him.
God.
Oh, he's high as fuck.
Here you
Look
guys go. That's boom. That's him.
Yeah, but there's plenty of pictures of me that look like that too, where I'm sober. They catch you.
You could just
catch
look.
you blinking.
You could just look up J.R. Smith high, and I'm sure there's a website.
So he smokes a lot of weed. Yeah.
Oh
yeah, there he is smoking weed.
You're smoking weed.
Well, there you go. Well, doesn't it like one of those things with the NBA has it in their contract where they don't test for weed?
They do test, but it's not as stringent as everywhere.
They test for weed? Mm-hmm. But these guys are all getting high. Like it's
locker rooms.
Here's
have been,
the thing:
yeah.
for pool, I told you I play pool. Marijuana is a performance-enhancing drug, 100%. It makes my game 10% better.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to. I'm telling you.
Weed does not make your pool game better.
It does. It makes you more sensitive. Trust me. There's a reason why basketball players find it better, too. It puts them into some sort of a zone. Now, are you saying that LeBron James needs weed? No. Like, there's a lot of pro pool players who are top of the food chain who don't do anything.
Right.
But a lot of guys who like it say that weed bumps their game up quite a bit, and I'm one of them. It makes me play better. I'm telling you. You don't know because you don't smoke weed.
You need to experiment.
Okay.
I want to experiment. I want you to play. You're gonna play pool.
Do you play?
No. You're gonna play pool sober.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're gonna see your results. And then
see, the problem is if I play pool sober and then I smoke pot and get high, I will have been warmed up by the playing pool sober, and I'll definitely play better high anyway.
Separate days.
But the problem with separate days is your body has to be like perfectly in tune in order to get real accurate results. Because one day I could have lifted weights, which fucks up your pool game like nothing.
Here we go.
I'm telling you.
Being
honest with you.
Just pick 2 days.
All my best games, I was medicated. Matt Barnes on his game day use of marijuana.
Matt Barnes, who will not be in the Hall of Fame.
Is he a good player?
He's all right, but
he's just all right.
He's a role player.
I want Michael Jordan to come out and say that. Then I'm going to be like, oh wow. I want someone like that. Don't tell me what the role players.
Well, see, you're saying this though as a guy who doesn't smoke pot. But I'm telling you, for jiu-jitsu, it's a huge part of the jiu-jitsu world. A lot of people get high and then do jiu-jitsu, and they say it makes their game better.
What's the practical use of jiu-jitsu?
Well, if you and I were in a fight, I would kill you.
I think he would kill me.
That's practical.
I think he would kill me anyway,
Yeah,
Joe.
but that would be the practical.
Okay, so it's just for that moment. But in any other time.
That. But no, it's not just
Would you want to be high if you were like walking to your car late at night and then 3 guys came at you? And would you want to, let me ask you, what's the perfect circumstance then? It's late at night, you're headed to your car.
I don't think you understand marijuana.
Would you want to? I'm just saying. Would you want to? What would you prefer? Would you prefer to be sober or high?
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
You'd fine with either one.
Yeah.
Okay, good then.
Depends. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do anything different if I'm sober or high. I'm fit. I mean, we're not talking about drunk. Now, if you said, would I want to be drunk or sober? Fuck yeah, I'd want to be sober.
Oh, no, I'm not. I get it.
If I'm worried about getting hit and I'm not unsure about reaction time or... One of the things about pot is it makes you a little bit paranoid, so it puts you on edge. It makes you aware of shit.
Okay.
The other thing is it focuses you like very cleanly on what you're doing.
Oh, there's a lot of potheads out here just really happy.
If you're drawing, they already know I like it. But if you're drawing or music or something along those lines where you're really trying to focus, a lot of, like writing, a lot of people really like it for those things because it makes you really focus on what you're doing.
But then
tunnel vision.
But then I think what happens then is that's whatever they were doing on that, they don't apply it to, because I have a lot of, we all have a lot. We both have a lot of pothead comedian friends.
Yeah, but
and there's some of them I know that when I started with them, I know that they're not doing what they're doing now. They didn't keep going, exceed their expectations, and I know part of it was because of the pot.
I don't think it is. I think the pot is just
the common
something they
denominator.
can use as an excuse. It's not. The common denominator is no work ethic. The common denominator is it didn't
help the work ethic.
I don't think it hurts or helps. I think it's just it's a factor.
Should see a study on this.
Yeah, I mean the study would be skewed because a lot of failures that get high all the time would be in the study.
Right.
But a lot of winners that get high all the time don't want to talk about it.
By the way, I'm with you 100% on this. What I hate is that the people that don't have any work ethic, they look at somebody with a work ethic that smokes weed and then say, well, look, they made it because they smoke weed. And I'm like, no, they would have made it without the weed.
Yeah, they would have made it without the weed.
That's what I'm saying.
Before I ever smoked weed, I was already on television. I already had a Warner Brothers CD. I didn't start smoking weed until like 2000.
I'm not anti-weed, but I just think that with anything there should be moderation.
Yes. No, I agree. Like one of the best things I did last year was Ari and Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer and I, we did this Sober October thing where for a whole month, no booze, no pot, and we had to do 15 hot yoga classes in the month. And I learned a lot in that month. I really did.
Are you a different person because of it?
No, it was good. You got to get out of here.
No, I have another.
Hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's already 2:20, bro.
Yeah, I'm doing another one. I'm going to see Barry Katz, if you can believe that.
Congratulations.
Barry Katz is a podcast. That's going to be an interesting day for me.
What was we just
about the pot.
But I forget what I was going to say. Stoner thought. No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
It's not whether or not you smoke pot. It's whether or not you get things done. And whether or not you write out what you're supposed to do, whether or not you actually try to achieve goals, whether or not you're actively trying to improve whatever you're doing, whether you build cars or make cabinetry. It's just about whether or not you're working towards succeeding and improving. And
I agree. Listen, I agree with you. I'm not anti-pot. I'm not.
I agree
with you.
Based on evidence of the people that are around, a lot of us, we should be anti-pot. I should be anti-pot. Dude, I know a lot of people that made me sad. Like I'd run into them at the Comedy Store and they'd be like, bro, you got any weed on you, man? You got any weed? And I'd be like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything with your life and you want some weed. Go get a job.
Those are
get
people
some
I
money,
see.
get some weed. Yeah. But then you also see guys like Ari who get high all the time and they're constantly working. Or
Doug Benson, who's like the most functional pothead I've ever met in my life.
He's high all day. He's a weird one. Or Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. So there are people, but these are people that are the exceptions, not the rule.
I wonder. There's a lot of people on Wall Street that get high. There's a lot of people that are involved in like the tech world that get high a lot. And what people think about it is that, look, it's like everything else, man. It can be good for you or it could fuck your world up. You know, I mean,
moderation.
I think there's some benefit to it. And what the benefit is, vulnerability, creativity. It makes you feel vulnerable. It makes you re-examine things. It makes you look at, people call it paranoia. I just think it broadens your awareness.
But I think as a stand-up, you already have a level of vulnerability just going on stage and talking about things.
For sure.
So that's like
For sure, there's some of that.
I just feel like that's my drug.
It's a good drug. I mean, it's definitely not one that's going to ruin your life, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unless you tell a bad Planet of the Apes joke on Twitter. Holla.
On that Aryan Ambien, you know what I mean?
Aryan Ambien. She got that old school Ambien. She got that Ambien from the motherland. I hope she bounces back, but I don't know if she will. Has anybody bounced back from this new era of fucking hate and anger? No one has bounced back.
Well, I don't think I don't think like Aziz wasn't taken out.
Well,
I don't think his show was canceled or anything like that.
No, he didn't have a show except the Netflix show, and he didn't do anything to the point where it was like a crime. But a lot of people went after him, like that Samantha Bee lady went after him, and
she's going hard at everybody.
Yeah, she's going hard at everybody.
And that's
her thing.
That's her thing. Yeah, it becomes a shtick at a certain point. You know, it loses credibility.
Sort of. She means it.
Yeah, she means well. It's an important voice.
The problem with going hard on a person is you're only getting one version of what happened. You know, like you're not talking about going hard on a person who committed a crime. You're going hard on a person that's involved in an interaction with two people.
What I would like to see, though, is like someone like Samantha Bee to like ask Aziz to come on her show.
Oh, he wouldn't do that.
And then him do it. No, but that's what I'm saying is that's what we're missing.
Why would he do that?
Why would that would be
she's already attacked him.
It's all entertainment. I mean, it's like isn't that the whole point of it?
It probably hurts for him.
Well, unless he can handle himself in that forum. I would like to see that.
I see even that. I think those forums are hard to do. I did Ben Shapiro's podcast that just aired yesterday, and he has this Sunday special thing that he does, and it's an hour long. And every 15 minutes, he stops the conversation and does a commercial. And while I was sitting there doing it, I was like, I really like the guy. I really like talking to him. Brilliant guy. But this is not the best way to stay loose and have a conversation. Like this podcast.
I get you.
This is the best format, man.
Yes, it is.
The kind of conversations that we've had over the past 3 hours, this is the best format. Because you just talk. Nothing interrupts you. There's no censors.
There's no thing you have ahead of time. Please don't talk about this.
Right. And also, like, it's best with friends. Like, I care about you. I'm your friend. We're going to have fun. And I'm not looking to get you or be weird with you.
Gotcha podcast.
I'm trying to have fun with you. And we had fun, and this is like the best format to get to understand people. And I think what we're missing today in this world, and this is just an open thought, people need more opportunities to be cool with each other and take advantage of less opportunities to attack each other. And I see a lot of attacking lately. And I don't know if the attacking is because there have been so many egregious crimes that need to be corrected, like Harvey Weinstein or like, fill in the blank with all the other monsters that have been out there.
Jesus.
It's late.
I know people keep
texting you.
Yeah.
Your phone's on your watch. That is weird. It's different colors
weird.
all the time. It's always changing.
Yeah.
Hit that X. What happens when you hit that X?
You hit the X, and then it just goes to whatever else. I think somebody's listening to our podcast right now, and somebody texted my girlfriend, and she's like, she just sent me a text message right now. You better not be married.
I don't know what that means. But anyway, my point is, I'm hoping that it all balances out. I hope that it comes back around and people just
I think
understand
that it
the
will.
value in be nice to each other.
Well, I mean, we just have to lead by example.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a hard thing. We have to lead by example. And that's why I'm saying these issues that men, as a man, what we're having out here is we forgot how to be gentlemen. And I think that if, like, say, in the Z situation, if he had just been a gentleman,
I don't know what he did.
I don't know if he had been in that situation. Well, when I read the story, it was just he was trying to get with her. Right. They were texting back and forth, and it was like yo. They went to dinner. They ended up at his place, and it was it was like maybe you don't bring a chick that you barely know to your place now. Maybe there should be different types of etiquette.
For sure, right? If you're a guy like Aziz too,
but if you're a guy like that, I mean,
if you heard Tony talk about
women are throwing themselves at you all the time. What are you supposed to do? Act like a gentleman is what I'm saying.
Gotta
that shouldn't be the excuse.
Filter.
The excuse shouldn't be as like, like that's like a man way to say it too. It'd be like, you got all these hot chicks. Like, what am I supposed to say no to these hot chicks? Yeah, maybe you should.
Wow, look at you being all judgmental. Here's the guy who had the girl come back to his place. You didn't say no to her. Huh?
I should have. Huh? That's my whole point. I should have. I should have stopped it. But I let my own ego get in the way. I let my own insecurity of being like, well, this girl really is into me. So let me go through. Hey, because you can doesn't mean you should.
Let's end it with that.
I think we should.
And when is your special?
June 8th on Showtime, 10 p.m. That's this weekend. Friday night. June 8th, Friday night. But I'll also be at the Irvine Improv on Friday. All weekend I'll be at Irvine. Damn. So if you want to come see me there. And then Showtime, I'm Dying Up Here is airing right now on Showtime. Episode 6 will be next Sunday.
Beautiful.
So check me out at Erik Griffin. I love you.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
brother. Appreciate you being on, man. That was fun. I enjoyed this.
Thanks for having me. You know what I mean? I really
Glad
appreciate it.
We finally did it.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
You should do your own.
I will. You'll be on it, right?
I'll be on it.
You'll be my first guest on the Erik Griffin podcast.
Woo!
I got it.